Hello, Philadelphia! I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gorgano Show!
Good morning! Good morning! Good morning! Happy Thursday to all across the Delaware Valley. This is the Anthony Gargano Show presented by TrueMark Financial Credit Union. Check out the credit union difference at truemark.com/PHLY. You'll see the difference today. All right, lots to get into today. We got a busy one. Kevin Negandhi will join us. Looking forward to talking to our man, Kevin. Baldy, Meat Locker Thursday. And, of course, I love our segment from the editor, former editor of the Daily News, my man, Pat McClune. He was going to give us the headlines of the week. So that's every Thursday. I want to start off with the 10 people that will affect our joy. The joy of Philadelphia is in their palms. All right? This is it. I was thinking about it last night because I was thinking about when the Phillies clinched the division series and how they clinched the division series. And then, of course, I'm listening to the press conferences yesterday. And so I'm like, these people hold the key, right? The joy. So I want to go, the first one, to me, the most important guy in all the landscape is not Jalen, right? It's Trea Turner. Trea Turner hit a home run last night. And if Trea Turner can get hot, the Phillies, trust me, will win the World Series. Trea Turner is the key to this whole thing because he's the linchpin of the lineup. He's the two-hole hitter, right? You know what Schwarber's going to do. You know what Harper's going to do. It's about Turner. Turner, if Turner gets hot, starts hitting for power, right? Disruption on the bases, fields his position properly, Phillies will be unstoppable. So I think Turner is the first key. Number two is Sirianni. As Nick spoke yesterday, I have to be honest with you. I listened to his entire news conference, and I felt sorry for him. Like, I feel bad for him. I don't want people, I don't never want people to beat up on him. He can't, the dude cares. He does. He's dying. He may not be the right guy for the job, or we'll see. But, man, I just felt bad for the dude. I have to be completely honest with you. I don't know. Here's the thing. He can't be a distraction, right? Listen, we talked about the landscape of the NFC. It's entirely possible that the Eagles could go on a run. I mean, we look around and look at these teams, and there's some good teams. Detroit's good, but they're not unstoppable. They're not some great team. So Sirianni just can't derail you. That's why he's the second most. He holds the second most importance when it comes to joy in Philadelphia. He just can't be a distraction. He can't, bungle games. He's got to just. You just need him to be a net, a net nothing, right? That's it. Number three, it's about Embiid's health. It's not about Embiid. It's about his health. It's really about his knee, because that's the thing I worry about the most with him. But the Sixers Media Day is Monday. In fact, we're going to be doing the show live there on Monday. Embiid's health is everything. The key to the joy of the Sixers season is Embiid's health. All right? So, because Maxi's going to be there. We love the team to build around him. But it only works if he's playing. And it's Embiid's health in the spring of 25. Number 4, Estevez. Yes, Estevez, because he's your closer. Make no mistakes. Topper may use Hoffman at some point, but Estevez is your closer. He's going to have to close out games during this run. And listen, I think he's going to be fine. I like him in the role. That's his role. You can't move him to 7th inning, 8th inning. He's got to close out games. That's what he's used to. That's what he's done. You got to close. He's got to be a closer. So he's going to be a huge key back end in closing out games. Number 5 is Nola, right? Because there's a little question with Ranger and Sanchez. But you can get by as long as Nola is shut down Nola, like we just saw. As long as Nola is giving you his quality start, no blow up in it. He gives you what he's been giving you. You can get away with Ranger / Sanchez, especially if Sanchez is pitching at home, because you would have Wheeler and Nola dialed in. If you have Wheeler and Nola dialed in, you know Wheeler's going to be dialed in. If Nola's dialed in, then that's a huge key for the Phillies. Number 6 and number 7 are the 2 Jalens. Hurts for the obvious reasons, right? Like we saw some good things out of him so far. Also saw the turnovers, right? And the progressions. So I think it's an obvious statement that he needs to take care of the ball and needs to grow at the position, right? But he's been giving you some good stuff against the blitz, right? Big deal. And number 7 is Jalen Carter, because Jalen Carter completely impacts the defense. With Carter at the helm, your defense is great. Like if Carter is disruption like he is, everything falls into place. And like it did. Like Fangio will come up with a scheme. As long as Carter is a disrupting force, your defense will not kill you, especially with the secondary and Zach Vaughn. Number 8, Paul George. I'm expecting Paul George to be very good. The only thing that could kill the Sixers when it comes to Paul George is if somehow he atrophied overnight and he turns into like a decaying figure. I don't believe that's the case. I think he'll play well, but he's a vital piece because he's the third cog with Embiid and Maxey. And then number 9 and number 10 are intertwined. Number 9, Michkov. Now, I only give you Michkov in that I have 0 expectations. The only thing I want from the kid, and we shouldn't have any expectations. First year over here, the whole thing, I just want to watch him, right? Now, just him on the ice should be enough just to give me my joy of watching an impactful flyer. That's all I want. And number 10 is Torts, because Torts can't get in the way of Michkov, right? Like that's got to work, those 2. So they're my 10 people that will affect our joy over the next 6 months. What do you think, boys? Let's start it off. VG, Violations, Greg Caputo, JP, John Zapata.
Yes. We're close. I got my list. When you said what we're doing, I got my top 5. I got Nola and Trey.
Okay.
Saquon I feel like if he stays healthy, we're good.
Isn't Saquon a given? Like, I didn't pick the given.
I should have, because I did put Embiid's body. I should have put Saquon's body.
I put Embiid's health.
I should have put Saquon's body.
Because I'm going on the premise that Saquon is going to be healthy. No, is going to be healthy.
Yeah.
As much as people say he's not injury prone, like Embiid is injury prone.
No, that dude.
You know what I mean? Like Joe,
bag of glass.
Like Joe. Joe's the only thing I just worry about, because when he's on the floor, he's a great player. I love Embiid. I've always been a huge Embiid fan. I love the dude. I just need him healthy to play.
You know those kids when you were younger, always sick, always breaking bones.
Yeah.
That's it, right? You get poked in the eye, he gets Bell's palsy.
I know.
Are you kidding me?
My God, stop. No, you're giving me flashbacks.
So, yeah, I got Embiid's body.
No flashbacks. Little Joey Marone, no flashbacks.
And I got Torts. Don't have to kid up, I wrote.
Dude.
Well, we got Torts too.
All the
We got
kids.
the torta. La torta.
Yeah.
Wait, you saying that? I have a great T-shirt idea now. I love that. I mean, obviously, he's definitely important. I mean, it's not even just obviously Michkov, but there's obviously a lot of other younger players on this team, and we saw in the past couple of years, whether it be benching it for silly reasons or reasons that we just don't understand, it's going to be important because obviously, look, a lot of people believe that Torts, when we are quote unquote good, people don't think that Torts will be here. And so I do want to see Torts here because I do like the culture he's instilled. I know.
Yeah, listen, I agree with it. And listen, here's the thing. Now, maybe I'm naive, right?
Uh-huh.
But we know Tortorella's his MO, right? Like we everybody knows it. I gotta believe he's a smart dude. All right, he's gonna look at this kid. He knows that this kid is the future of the franchise.
Uh-huh.
He knows these young players wouldn't matter. I gotta believe that he'll dial it back when he has to dial it back. I'm not saying he's going to be a softy, right? Like Pop. He's not going to be Pop, but I still I don't think he's going to be a dictator.
Not.
I mean,
Emphasis on dictator.
Yeah. You and I both are quite familiar with stubborn old Italian guys. And something tells me I should throw Torts into that category.
Why are you taking shots at Cuz early in the morning? Jeez.
I'm going to take a shot at him. I'm Italian as well, man.
No, but we're not old.
Yeah, we're
Just to
dealing.
you, we're
yeah,
old.
Yeah, we're dealing. We got some grandpops and we know relatives.
We got older people. There's older,
stubborn
true
guys.
older
They
guys.
get set in their ways.
You have no idea. We're like, progressive compared to these old dudes.
It's like the sports world.
I'm a young adult.
In the sports world,
Exactly. We're adults.
in the sports world, when you're 30, you're old. Like
I know.
you're an old head now.
I know.
Yeah, I don't know about Torts. I'm praying.
No, all right.
If he's
So
ever going to.
So let's go with Turner. Let's go with Turner. Turner's got to be the number one because Turner, if they're raking,
Yeah.
nobody's beating the Phillies.
Schwarber ahead of you, Harper behind you. Absolutely.
And Castellanos has been legit.
Yeah.
So he's the only question mark in the top six.
Right.
Yeah.
And when he's good, he's great.
Oh, yes.
Like he's a stud.
Yes. Yeah, I'm all about I was torn between Trea and Nola. Which,
Yeah, Trey. It's Trey. If Trey is raking, he made the home run last night. Got me jacked up.
all jacked up.
I was like, Turner. Because when we have Turner going, see, here's the thing. Phillies love this, the bright lights, man.
Of course.
They're dancing. They're like, let's go. October's our time.
Yeah.
Like, they're into it.
Show off that bat.
You get Turner, he's rolling. Because Schwarber would be great.
And
JT, Bryce is Bryce.
Estevez, we don't know, but Trey's been living in the playoffs the last 4 years,
Right.
Yes,
like
sir.
he should feel quite comfortable and ready to go.
And
So Turner won.
Yeah.
Nick 2, because Nick, guys, he just can't get in the way. I don't know about you guys. I kind of feel bad for him.
He's just saying stuff out his butt now.
The poor guy's trying to justify why he's there.
I know.
And the more he talks, the worse it gets. And he's just
he's always been long-winded.
He
He's
has.
a verbal guy.
Yeah, it's coming back to bite him. And I don't know.
He just can't be a distraction.
I kind of have more empathy for Taiwan.
No, you don't. I don't.
I do. I feel like Taiwan's like.
No, I mean, Sirianni.
Taiwan's just like,
Listen,
I stink.
Sirianni's earnest.
I
Like,
hope I can help.
Sirianni's earnest. Like he works. He's dying to succeed. I don't know.
Wait,
You
it's a good
can't tell me he
comparison.
had nothing to do with the last 3 years. Like nothing to do with it. Like it was an accident that they were in the Super Bowl.
I wish
it was
that-
all Steichen. I mean, I don't believe that. He had something to do with it.
Well, I mean, just like look at one of the big turning points of his coaching tenure. Go back to the first year when he brought up the roots, right? The flowers. You go online, everyone was making fun of it,
I know.
and they turned the season around from it.
Yeah,
And
I
it's
know the Ted Lasso thing. He is Ted Lasso, but Ted Lasso was more lovable.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think, well, Ted Lasso doesn't have that little cocky edge.
That's
Nick's
good.
got a little cockiness
Yes.
with it, and he's
That's a good point.
unjustified.
Yes, you're right. You're right. That's the difference between Lasso and Nick.
He's not jawing at fans
Ted
in the
and Nick.
stands.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
true.
he's not drawing
Doing
them.
Yeah,
extra
no, you know what?
stuff.
Ted doesn't do that.
No, he
No,
doesn't.
Ted. No, you're right.
Ted would bring up
Roots and flowers.
and his kid's T-ball.
Yes.
The lessons he's getting from his kid's
Yeah, Coach
T-ball.
Dan.
Yeah, Coach
He brings up Coach Dan. I got no problem with Coach Dan.
I got
know
issues
people
with
mock,
Coach Dan.
I know people mock him. I have no problem with Coach Dan.
Well, Zach Berman put this perfectly yesterday on the Eagles show, and it's like for Nick Sirianni, he loves giving those roses to the people who probably will never get those roses because he's on that platform. But I mean, I get it. At this-
He's talking up Coach Dan. Come stop. When people go, are we that hard-hearted that you can't have any kind of love for Coach Dan?
Well, at this point, a lot of people are blaming him for
Keep your
for-
mouth shut, Coach Dan. We don't need this advice.
No, it's all
Hey,
right.
can I just mention, just add to the list because it came in, a $20
Yes.
super chat from Dave.
Shouts to Dave.
His concern is when he thinks the fumbles are a key holder to this season. For me, the fumbles are the only issue. If every fumble became an interception, I would absolutely take it every day and twice on Sunday.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to lump them together, brother, only because the interceptions, you got to dial those back. Because it's not just, well, because the excuses are there. Well, look, Devontae didn't run a good route. Well, no, he was late on the throw.
Yeah.
Right? And that caused the interception.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why the fumble, I get, and I think he's right. Who's that? Is that
Dave.
Dave, good job. I think you're right on that. The only thing, Davey, I would say is I would add the interceptions together. Only because technically he's got to be on time with the ball, right? You got to have that stuff. Like we've seen some really, listen, I think you saw some really good stuff from Jalen, especially against the blitz, the whole thing. There's other stuff that I think it's obvious he's going to clean up. And B's health stands for itself, right? We talk about that. Estevez, he has to close.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a question mark for him how he handles this,
Never
He's
really
been
been a
giving up some
situation.
shots. He's been giving up some hits.
I know. And like, here's what I fear, right?
Yeah.
Not fear, because I think he's going to be fine, but I think he's going to give us anxiety to no end. Like, I think ninth innings are going to be like,
Love it. I'm in for it.
You're going to be.
I want to be on the roller coaster.
Oh yeah, you're going to be biting your fingernails, screaming. Oh no, I can't watch. No. You know what the worst is that if you're following along, sometimes I like to look on my phone, right, with the game.
You can't. It's ahead.
Right.
It's ahead.
And
It's
I can't do
horrible.
it. But sometimes I like to cheat, right? Because I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to watch this. I don't want to watch this. And I look on my phone.
Ball in play.
Yeah,
And then you
what
win,
it is.
and it doesn't say out. So you're like, what?
Yeah, I know. All
Hey,
right.
I do think it's important for him. His first inning in the playoffs, he's got to be good.
Yeah.
He's got to build that confidence quick and early. If he struggles that first inning out, his first appearance, I'm going to worry about him.
I agree.
Crowds can get right behind
Yeah.
him. He's got the best walkouts on any closer in the league.
I think I think you're spot on. Nola, you brought him
Gotta
up.
give it to us, man.
Yeah, because listen, the Ranger Sanchez, I often thought Ranger was the key, but I don't think that Ranger is going to give you what he gave you before the playoffs.
Oh, no.
So now it really falls on I need Nola to be lights out.
Yeah.
Now Nola.
Yeah.
Because
That's a
the one
big
thing I
thing.
believe in Wheeler to the death.
For sure.
Yeah. I mean, he's the second best pitcher.
Yeah.
I think he's the
The
best
ace.
pitcher in the National League. But if you get that solid 1-2 punch, you can have an okay outing from your three, and the
Right.
bullpen will save you.
Yeah, bats maybe get
Yeah.
lucky, The Jalen, we talk about Hurts. Carter, again, if he's a game wrecker, their defense is fine because look, you got Zach Bourne, N'Kobe, right? We like the secondary, right? Like we
Yeah.
love the corners at least. So
And then Jalen makes the linebackers look better.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know.
Have a young stalwart up
and
there.
I like his edge.
Oh, I love
I
the
love
edge.
him
I don't
yapping
care.
at the end of the game,
I don't care.
uncontrollable.
People are like, I don't know, man. A little bit wild. I could go ahead.
Yeah, go talk. Do you ever see Lawrence Taylor?
Yeah.
Dude was crazy.
I loved it.
Let's go.
You know what my
more than
favorite
that.
was? Endemic Sue.
Oh, yeah.
I love Endemic
Nasty,
Sue.
that guy.
I don't care.
It is
You
their
get penalty. I like honestly, it's worth the 15 yards.
Yes.
And sometimes it bites you, but those guys become feared.
Mm-hmm. I'm so with you.
Well, it was funny because I was watching Baldy's clip on John Clark's podcast, and Baldy comparing him a little bit to Jerome Brown and just like the tenacity he had and his energy got me a little juiced up.
Yeah, he's a little better shape, a little thinner, and a little leaner than Jerome. But yeah, I like that attitude.
Let's go. Paul George for the obvious.
Yeah.
Right? You just can't be. He's got to be
He's
himself.
also healthy too. Like he's the one. We
Right.
need him to beat healthy.
Agree.
If they're healthy,
He's got to be his guy. He's got to be.
it's going to be a great season.
Yeah.
If
And
they're
he won't
both
have as
healthy.
much pressure as he did in LA, which I think will be a big part of it.
Right. Because
Yeah.
you're now the third guy.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And you got to play within the game.
He can just play
and
his game.
he's such a great fit. If you
Yeah.
think about it, I remember years ago we're talking like, oh my God, we love Paul George. This
Right.
is like pre-Jimmy,
Right.
right? We're like looking ahead. He's a great fit.
It's interesting. Neither of us have Maxi.
No, because Maxi's a given.
Given.
Yeah.
I think he's a given.
All right.
I have no qualms. Like, I believe in Maxi to no end. Like, I don't have Wheeler. I don't have Maxi, right? I don't have A.J.
I
Brown.
get what you're saying.
I don't have Barkley. Like, I believe it, like they're not like I know they're constants. These other things, these are the keys
Yes.
to the ultimate joy.
Dude, I'm high on Maxi. Don't be surprised if Max starts getting some MVP conversations this year, guys.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard with Embiid when you play with Embiid, but yeah, listen, I'm with you. I'm
Take
with
the next
you.
step.
Yeah, listen, I'm feeling you, man.
I
on
like that list, cuz.
All right, that's good. By the way, speaking of baseball in the playoffs, how about the Hurricane? Oh, they got to play a doubleheader, Mets Braves on Monday. That talk about destroying your pitching staff.
Is there a possibility that game means nothing and they don't play them?
They're scheduling the play. I guess there is a possibility,
Huh.
but I don't know
It's gonna be an
how.
interesting weekend,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah. What is this? Helene? What's this hurricane?
Yes.
Helene.
hitting
Is
today in Tampa.
Yeah. Is
Yeah,
there
It's
any,
causing havoc.
Shouldn't
Yeah.
affect us on Sunday.
No, it's not. It'll be gone.
Yeah, be gone by Saturday, they're saying.
No, even tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all about just get
tomorrow. Blow through tomorrow. So it's blow through today, and then by tomorrow you're fine.
Get your
But-
popcorn and watch that game on Monday or those
Oh, yeah.
games.
But they canceled the airport's closed.
Yeah, I bet.
So our friends Vince from Philly Sports Trips and all, they're going down.
Oh, snap.
Yeah,
Might
yeah,
want
they're
to drive
supposed to go
down now.
today.
I'm just kidding.
Well, you gotta go. You gotta go tomorrow or later. I don't know how they're gonna do it. It's tomorrow after the storm blows through. All right, lots to get to coming up. The editor, yes, Pat McClune, will join us to go over the headlines of the week. I love this, man. It's a fun segment. Then Kevin Negandhi, and then Baldy. JP, tell us about Ace.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, listen, we all have something fixed around the house. Like I know on the top of my head, I got like 5 different things in my kitchen that I needed to redo. And so like whether it be myself or even better, you don't trust yourself all the time or you get a little bit lazy as well. Ace is the place because they have trained professionals that will actually come out to your place and do the fixings for you. There's nothing better than that. You got a leaky pipe? Ace Hardware Home Services. They're just around the block with everything you need to fix it, including the person to fix it as well. And Eric, well, now in this time of year, right, we're getting closer and closer to that cold season, heavy coat season. So it's going to be freezing cold outside. So you want to make sure your heater's good. It's been a while since you turned that bad boy on. So if you turn on your heater and you're noticing that it's not heating the way it was, Ace will have a trained professional to come out and check it out for you and make sure that it's running well. All right, you got that faucet that you said you would fix that leak last fall and it's still there? Well, Ace will has everything you need to fix it and, of course, has the right person for it to fix it as well to come out to your place. Visit Ace Hardware Home Services online at www.acehardwarehomeservices.com to get your next project started here today. Don't let it lay around anymore, ladies and gentlemen. Get your needs and get everything fixed right now with our friends over at Ace Hardware. And while we're at it, obviously we're talking about the health of your home. Let's talk about the health of your pockets, ladies and gentlemen. And with our friends at TrueMark Financial, they are making sure that we are keeping our finances in check here in 2024. All right, budget for kids' sports leagues and activities with the TrueMark Financial's money management tool. It's my favorite tool here Because look, we need to always manage our finances. Especially after a long weekend. We're having fun, going out to dinner, going out with buddies, whatever it may be, going to the game. Things start adding up. And so with the money management tool, we're able to manage everything for you and make it super digestible for you to see. Create a separate budget category for sports expenses to track cost effectively. Even super important, ladies and gentlemen, involve your kids in those early financial discussions. It is never too early for that. If you're going on an away trip, if you're going to Tampa this weekend, it's still easy to keep track of your finances. The mobile banking app offers super convenience for managing your finances. And even better, my favorite feature on the app is you're able to lock your debit or credit card if you happen to go through that heart attack. It's awesome. If you want some more information or if you want to start your credit union career today, one of two options. You can either visit truemark.com/PHLY, or we have 24 branches in the Philadelphia area. You can walk up. Be more than happy to help you with any of those questions or just start your credit union career. TrueMark Financial is federally insured by the NCUA and is an equal opportunity lender. Shouts out to our friends over at TrueMark Financial.
Oh, thank you, my buddy. Hey, what is that jersey?
BG's asking earlier. So this is from Portugal. This is a goalie goalie shirt for Porto FC. It's an off day, so we got to bring the soccer.
These guys, man.
I mean, you guys, between the
keep
two of
track
you,
of the kids.
how many European jerseys do you have, or whatever? All jerseys.
I have quite a few, only because in the late 2010s I had an obsession over Napoli. So I have like 4 or 5 Napoli jerseys. I have a Napoli jacket.
You have 5 Napoli jerseys?
Yeah, man. I was big. I was really.
How many soccer jerseys do you have all together?
Close to 20.
Damn.
From the Union,
I don't
Columbia.
have that many.
It's been like
Feels
10,
like you do.
It's like 10 years of collecting.
I just wear them more often. I probably have like 8, 9.
You got 8, 9 soccer jerseys?
Yeah, I got about like 6 Liverpool.
I don't even
You
think
have
I have
6 Liverpool.
Well, the thing is, like,
Wow.
each year they have a
They
different
have
design.
6 different jerseys?
Every
They
year,
have a different
every
design.
year they change them up.
every year they change the jerseys.
It's not like the Eagles
Yeah,
or the
like,
Phillies
that's
where it's the
not
same
cool.
one.
I don't like that.
No, you need substance.
I probably got like 4 Cuse jerseys because they just changed it.
You got a McNabb one?
No,
He's got
stunk.
basketball.
Basketball, bad. I'm a Cuse basketball fan only.
Carmelo?
He's a huge.
Yeah, I'm looking at the screen. I didn't get this memo about this like
Yeah, where's
pinkish
your pink, bro?
salmon kind of vibe we got going on here.
I know.
today.
Yeah, well, I got the grunge. Eddie Vedder's next to me.
Good piece on CBS Sunday Morning on Pearl Jam this weekend.
Dude, I saw it. That's where you know we're old, because we were watching Pearl Jam on CBS Sunday morning.
CBS
So did I.
Sunday morning.
I saw it last night.
Yeah, so did I.
What are they
I
talking
came
about,
home. Pam
Andrew?
was watching it. She goes, "You gotta watch this. It's a good piece on Eddie Vedder."
Yeah.
I literally walked in from work. I was at Parks last night with Andrew and with Frazier.
Great show, guys.
And I got thanks, buddy. And then we got home, and she was, "Oh, you got to see this."
Yeah.
She was watching CBS Sunday
We're
morning.
like 2 old guys at the Dunkin' Donuts talking about CBS Sunday Morning right now.
He's pretty good.
Yeah.
Frazier's got a great voice.
He does. Yeah.
He's got presence.
He does.
All right, let's go. Time now for the headlines, by the way, brought to us by the Bet Park Sportsbook and Casino app. Let's welcome my man, the editor. That's right, from the editor's desk, the great Pat McClune.
Yeah.
How are you guys? I'm glad we cleared up that question about JP's jersey. I was wondering about that myself.
Right? I'm
Yeah,
going,
yeah.
man, what?
And he goes goalkeeper. He goes keeper jersey.
Yes, yeah.
Did you call
That'll
it kid?
Sure.
I mean, listen, I got
That's what they call it.
They call
my
it a
soccer
kid.
fans. Listen.
I didn't even notice, Pat. Did you notice? They call the goalie jersey a kit.
No, all the soccer
Oh,
jerseys,
all of them?
right?
All
The
shirt or
uniform's
kit.
the kit.
Oh, I don't know
Yeah.
anything. Yeah.
Go get your kit. Yeah. Just watching the British crime novels, there's always the occasional kid playing soccer, and he's got to go pick up the kid from mom and dad. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's good. See, that's my the literary reference.
Is he
my man.
Pat, you a BritBox guy?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I have lists on my phone of all the British novels all the British shows my wife and I have seen.
Yeah.
Yeah. How to do that. They know how to do that.
We're a break
Yep.
They do. They're
With all the
amazing.
Harlan- we just exhausted all the Harlan Coben, and then we went on from there.
Yo, his series of Harlan Coben stuff are good.
Yes, very good. Yes.
Really well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're a big BritBox family at my house.
Listen. Nobody does TV better.
Yeah.
No, it's tremendous.
Is that like Mr. Bean?
Mr. B might be on there, but it's a lot of mystery stuff.
Yeah, they do great mystery, murder, detective, like incredible
There's great
stuff.
Shetland. There's like the Shetland Island. There's a population like 300, but there's someone gets murdered every week on this show.
There's a crime. There's a drug show that's unbelievable. What's the name of it? I watched 3 of them. The boy, something boys, and it's about this gang from Jamaica and the projects and the drug game in inside London. It's unbelievable. The show is outrageous. Anyway, good stuff. All right, I digress. Time for the headlines. Take it away, Mr. Editor.
Well, here we go. I'm going to start a little bit of show and tell, if Andrew would be kind enough. I'm not going to make this a walk down newspaper memory lane, but something came up this week that I thought would be would make a lot of sense as it relates to the Phillies and their clinching. And there's a front page that I had given of when there you go. Thank you, Andrew. He's got a good voice and he's quite the producer. How about that? Anyway, let's look at this one here, boys. And the reason I'm saying is I just think it's interesting. That's when Mitch Williams and them clinched in 93 to go to the World Series. They beat the Braves in a crazy, crazy series. But the reason I bring it up that I thought it would be of interest to you guys and to the listeners is the photo was shot by a guy named George Reynolds. And Georgie, for my money, is the best sports photographer in Philadelphia history. Now, poor Georgie passed at age 53, the same month as my number 2 guy, Cesar Alsop. So that was tough times at the Daily News. But the photo there, George shot with his foot.
Wow.
Georgie got that shot with his foot. Now, how do you do that? Okay. George is in the first base dugout, as all the photographers are. He's got the tripod with the long lens. He's got the thing around his neck for when Castellanos catches the other day, where you got to get over to right field. And he knows intuitively that more than likely the big moment is going to occur on the mound. And when you think about it, that's what happened with Tug, Schmidt jumping on Tug in 1980. Mm-hmm. That's what happened with Brad Lidge falling to his knees in 2008. So George was just making a guess that the action was going to be on the mound. And ironically, Tug, Mitch, and Lidge were all shutouts. Well, were all strikeouts, which I'll get to. But so George it was at the vet, he went to the 400 level and put a remote camera up there. And then he had other remote cameras. And we did not know until the next day when George came back in. He goes, "Oh, that's one of the ones I shot with my foot." He had a pedal that the moment that it would happen, he would press with his foot, and that camera at press box level or the cameras elsewhere took the shot, and it was so clear off his foot and his pedal, that precise moment, that we didn't know how he did it, but that's the photo that we selected that night, and Georgie did it with his foot. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Wow, I remember that cover. I remember it like it was yesterday. There was nothing better than that, like, because you had some incredible art, some incredible splash lines. I remember that, man. That was an awesome, and he shot it with his foot. That's brilliant. What a backstory.
Yes, he hit it with his foot.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Footsman.
That brings us to this week with the clinching, whatever. And what I wanted to bring up there is this notion. We could disagree, but I will argue that nothing in our lifetime will ever be bigger than the Eagles winning the Super Bowl. And the reason is this: is you can only win the Super Bowl for the first time once.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. So however, this is about as close as it could get, in my opinion. What happened, you see how crazy that crowd is during the regular season. And you see how it gets amped up during the playoffs. What would happen if the Phillies win it on a walk-off?
Wow.
You know what's gonna happen? Let's play this scenario out. Ready? Phillies Yankees. Game 7 at the bank. Phillies go into the 9th down 5-4. Pinch hit for Rojas. Kody Clemens. Shot of a line drive, but right to the second baseman. 1 out. Schwarber comes up. Gets hold of one. Real high. Deep. Dies at the track. 2 outs. One of the guys that brings Anthony joy starts the joy. Trea Turner, 3-2 count. Hits one. The left fielder, the center fielder, the shortstop. It drops. It drops. There's life. There's life. Bryce Harper comes up. First pitch. Bang. Gone. Into the night. A Bryce Harper walk-off while down at the bank against the Yankees in Game 7 of the World Series. Could our 4 hearts take that? Could
Oh, my God. I can't take it now. I can't take it now.
Yeah. If you had some kind of meter on the noise that would create, it would be
shatter windows all across South Philadelphia, as far north as Wolf, as Rittner Street. I mean, it would. The crowd would go nuts. Oh my God, I love it. I love that scenario.
And you know, in 2022 and 23, the Phillies have never walked off a playoff game. So even adding to it. And as great as the vet was, and as great as the Utley Rollins years was, there's something about the juice down there now. The fans are, that's a new level of fever pitch. They did win on a walk-off against Tampa Bay in one of those World Series games. I think Chooch hit a dribbler of an infield single and everybody beat it out and they won. But the walk-off is about as close. And look, playoff hockey's as good as it gets.
Oh, yeah.
A buzzer beater is great.
Yeah.
But the Phillies walk off at the bank.
Outrageous.
Hard to top. Okay, number 2. And then after that, Anthony, I'll let it go back into your devious hands and you can make the picks. But since this one also has a image lined up with it, I wanted to go second. And Andrew has this. The second one is, I don't know how much circulation this has got. And I don't know if you guys have seen it, but this segment is, and you call yourselves saints. My buddy Pat Frayne sent me some stuff that a buddy of his shot at the game. And I think it hit the Fans of Philly website.
Yes.
The Saints themselves put up stuff ridiculing the city of Philadelphia. There's another one with violence.
Yes.
I mean, what's going on here? This is sanctioned by the team. This isn't some, shock jock or, somebody going off the rails to try to drum everything up. This is during the game.
No, it was I'll say this. It was a declaration of war.
That's well put, Anthony. I mean, honest to God, you put that up during the game?
Yeah.
And you put it up into a stadium that, again, the Philadelphia fans have taken over? I was, listen, not much shocks me anymore, but I was kind of shocked by that the team itself would allow something like that to go up.
No, that's Bush League. I mean, you don't do that. That's insane.
No.
That's something like the Nationals would do.
Yeah, weak-ass franchise. But they were fine. That's a missile fire.
Yeah, I agree.
You do that over in one of JP's big soccer games or something.
Right.
Somebody's head's going to roll over there.
Yes.
That's
Seeking blood.
Yeah. Okay. You're right.
Anthony, I have 2 more Eagles or a Sixers. Tell me which one you're looking for at the moment.
Let's go Eagle, Sixer, Eagle.
Ooh, okay.
That's a little sandwich.
Funny. I have that in my thing. Okay, so the third thing is it's payback time on Sunday, right?
Yes.
Team that we didn't even know what we were looking at.
Yeah.
Playing in Tampa, payback's a glitch. The reason I say that is I thought, I would be able to dig up all this stuff about juicy payback. But the fact of the matter is, since 2010, whenever the Eagles have been in the playoffs, this is unusual. The team that has knocked them out of the playoffs, the Eagles have only gotten payback once. And it didn't feel like much payback, let's be honest. Last year it was when the Eagles go into Arrowhead and beat the Chiefs after losing in the Super Bowl. Other than that, you almost never get that team the next year because it's a team from another conference, and it's a roll of the dice whether you play them.
And you'll remember this. It reminds me of, do you remember 2002, end of the vet, right? You remember that, the worst loss in Philadelphia history, followed up with the opening of the link.
Yes.
Again, with that damn mush, Sylvester Stallone.
Yes. Oh God. Yeah, that was a bad cycle right there. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I hate the Buccaneers. I don't know about you, Pat, but other than the division, the Buccaneers are the team I hate the most out of everybody else.
Well, when you compounded it with Brady as their quarterback for a while, no doubt about it. But it's going to be interesting to see, as banged up as they are now. The Bucs themselves, and maybe we'll talk about this a little later. The Bucs themselves have some Vita Vea, Hargrave. Some of their key guys may or may not play. We'll see. Okay, I'm going to go to the Sixers now, and I'm going to go something that happened during the week. And I'm going to call this one abundance of riches because the Sixers signed Joel. Nicely done, Andrew, with the Joel thing in there. They signed Embiid to a 3-year, $193 million extension. Now, I'm going to go back to a time that's, well before JP was with us or whatever, just to show you how much this has changed. I remember this vividly. I didn't even have to look it up. It's just embedded in my mind. In 78-79, the Phillies made a huge free agent signing. They signed Pete Rose. And it turned out that he, in a large part, boosted up Schmidt and got them, and they won the 80 World Series. At the time, it was an outrageous expenditure. So outrageous that the Phillies themselves could not afford the contract. The Phillies had to ask their TV partner, Taft Broadcasting, to pitch the deal. Yes. Because they said they could not afford this crazy contract. That crazy contract was a 4-year deal for $3.2 million.
Total.
800 thou would have broken the bank in the Phillies' estimation. And even then, and I'm no economics wonder, I need TrueMark Financial as much as the next guy. Even back then, Anthony, I'm thinking to myself, $800,000, Pete's going to pay them back by the end of the week. And he did. Just in all the interest and publicity and the tickets sold, he did it in no time. But now you're looking at these extensions, and I don't begrudge Embiid the money, although, again, a real good point in your Joy thing, it really all comes down to, I don't want to get anybody upset that Joel missed a shot at the end of the Hornets game in February. Who cares?
Right.
Is he healthy? Is he going into the playoffs for once in the right frame of physical and mental mind? That's all. You're so right about that on the Joy.
I mean, the keys to our joy lie in those things, right? If Turner is hot, because Schwarber and Harper are a given. So if Turner's hitting, that means he's fielding well. So that'll make the lineup unstoppable. And it goes back to your point about Embiid. Like, if he's healthy, it's all about his health because he's a stud.
And that brings up the question for you guys that I want to ask. we went from 800,000 now, and Embiid and George are going to be the first pair on a team ever to have earned $1 billion in their careers.
Oh, my God.
And my question to you guys is, and this becomes this is something that comes up in JP and the international soccer world. Are we going to see the first $1 billion contract? $1 billion.
Have to do it soon. I mean,
Right now it's Otani at 700 now, but after that it's Messi at 674, Cristiano Ronaldo at 536, then Mahomes in NFL at 450 and Trout at 426.5. But if it keeps going up, we're going to see one man, $1 billion.
There's going to be there's some kid right now who's like a freshman in high school, right? Who's a wonderkind. And it'll probably be NBA or soccer. Could be soccer because they have a lot of money. Yeah, and at some point, it's going to happen. And it'll be, that's the threshold, right? The $1 billion man.
Yes.
Nice.
And I'll tell you where I think it gets scary now is in the NFL, it's like, can you top this? Like the Eagles, as they often are, were smart. And they went and lined up Devontae, and they lined up AJ, and they lined up Jalen Hurts. But it's now at the point in the NFL where the next quarterback or the next receiver has to get more than everyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dak did it in football.
Yeah.
Dak's not nearly the best quarterback, but it's like every guy up. The Bengals haven't signed Chase, maybe because they don't want to make him number one. The Cowboys fumbled away to the point where they had to make Lamb number one. So I just wish that if Brock Purdy comes up, let's just get Brock Purdy, give that guy a nice payday, maybe one that messes the 49ers salary cap up for a while. But let's see him where he deserves to be. Let's not make Brock Purdy the highest paid quarterback.
You're so right. You're so right.
Can I just jump on this Pete Rose thing? That made him the highest paid player in baseball at the time. And the Phillies TV deal paid them $1.3 million annually. Now they get $100 million from Comcast.
Yeah.
$1.3 million they were getting a year for TV ad.
Wow.
So I guess I do have to ask.
Now they get $20 million.
They get 100. They get $100 million a year from Comcast.
I thought it was $20 million.
What was Schmidt making in those days?
What was Schmidt making, Pat?
You know, I honestly don't know, but he wasn't making what Pete made.
Nah, it's the free agency. Didn't that drive Ruley Carpenter out? Did Pete drive Ruley Carpenter out of the game?
Could have been easily. It became a game that was not made for a family franchise on, you know, that type of, unless your family's DuPont or something like that.
All right, number one.
Oh, Schmidt was making $561 in 1977.
$561.
I would say a little over 500,000.
Yeah.
Good look up there. Yeah. And then the last one is I have a few, but we're at the end here, is that on the Eagles, I have one called Right Said Fred. Okay.
Oh, that's great.
Now, like Right Said Fred, is he going to be a one-hit wonder? Because I give Johnson credit. And we don't know where it is with Lane, but he looked like we could get by with him. And just think of the nightmares that we've put up with over the years. I'm looking at
there he is, Right Said Fred.
Oh, nicely done, Mr. Frazier. There you go. Jack Driscoll was a good player, but at tackle, he was overmatched.
Yes.
Remember the Winston Justice game? It was a night game.
It's the Giants.
God.
9 sacks. Giants. Oshie Umenyiora.
Terrible. And then Andre Dillard, when they had to play left tackle for a while.
Dillard.
I'll go back to your Matt Tobin and your King Dunlap. It's just
the kid was like 9 feet tall and he couldn't move.
Yeah,
And he stole money from the Chargers for a year. So
Yes.
For us, yeah. But, you know, as good as Fred was, if we sure don't hope that he's out there for a long time, but if he was, there's no given that people won't figure that out. But I got to tell you, that was impressive.
It
And
was.
it's so
You're
cool
spot on.
after the game, just seeing how into it he was, and a guy that banged around or whatever. And it might be the ultimate testament to the greatest thing Philadelphia sports has going for it, Jeff Stoutland, your behind-the-scenes guy.
Yeah.
He saw something there that the Bengals and the other teams didn't with Fred. And, there you go. Even the penalty he had, I thought it was sharp how quickly Kelsey got up on Twitter. And Greg Olson was on it too, that when they called the penalty on Fred, it was really Tyler Steen's fault for not tapping him because it was a silent count. I never knew that. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was very cool. I love that. Right said Fred. That was genius. It was right. You're spot on, man. I got to tell you, this is my favorite segment of the week. I love it. I absolutely love it.
And I like being a part of it. I always appreciate you guys.
You're the best, man. You're the greatest. Oh, God bless you. Love
See
you,
you,
buddy.
fellas. Do the rest of the show.
Thanks,
Yeah.
pal. The great
Take care.
Pat McClune, the editor.
Nicely done.
Yo, great stuff. Frazier. Excellent work, Frazier. Excellent work.
Thank you.
Do you know the Right Said Fred song?
No. You know me. I'm
too
terrible at
sexy
music.
for my shirt.
Yeah,
Oh, it's him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. You know that? You should be singing that right now.
You're too sexy for me. I think of Chris Farley when I hear that song.
You should be doing it with your goalie kit. I don't even know. By the way, the show's called Top Boy. It's
Top
a British.
Boy.
It's a British like gang show, like a drug show. It's it's great. Thanks to my man Tony the ref.
Okay.
Always on top of it. Thanks, Tone.
Oh, and real quick. So you guys were talking about the $1 billion man.
Yeah.
Kylian Mbappe almost was the $1 billion man. I think the Saudis had offered him $1.2 billion to go to
What,
the
he
Saudi league,
eclipsed $1 billion?
but he declined it.
It's going to happen in soccer eventually.
They're-
especially all the
Yeah,
spoil
the
money.
Saudi money.
People
forget
are
it.
right. It's probably going to happen in golf too. I mean, if these guys hold out, like Rory could get $1 billion to go over there. They're
Yeah.
paying guys like $600-700 million.
Yeah,
So much money.
Yeah, they got all the money.
Mm-hmm.
You got all the. It's all that black liquid in the desert.
What if they
It's
started?
all that black liquid in the desert.
What if they started like a football league over there, cuz? And they started taking.
Dude,
our
they
stars
should.
over
I
there?
mean,
We need
honestly.
some Saudi money for our Westchester takeover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
NIL. Yeah.
That's a good NIL.
Well, dude, I get
tell you
Saudi
about
money for the NIL, man.
Doesn't Colorado
about
have that?
I want to say yes, but I'm not sure.
Dude,
I
we'll
don't
have
know.
think they have some info.
pros with years of eligibility trying to come back for our NIL money. Saudi stuff.
How our quarterbacks are making like $65 million. A new contract. And, well, he didn't show up to class today. Well, what's that about? No good. Brain.
Red the Brain Finder.
Brought to us by the Bet Park Sportsbook Casino.
What's this 561 hat? What is this?
This is no, it's my fiance's hat. Actually, I just put it on. It was 561 area code. That's where I'm at.
You
So,
wearing-
561 area
You
code.
wearing Queen V's hats for our segment?
I am. Don't tell her.
What the hell? That's a violation.
Yeah, and the
I know, but
561 is a violation.
Where you come
Talking
to
about
Burbank?
Fugazi, Florida, Fugazi.
That's Boca Raton.
Yeah,
Top area code.
Like, come on, man.
561.
You're right.
How we
You're
roll.
right. I plead guilty. At least
Running through the 5 of my woes.
I at least plead guilty. I admit it all. You're right. Violation.
Oh man,
Not
I love
good.
you, Brad.
You're the best,
He
buddy.
is.
I've had a
we
bad
love
day
you.
so
Best
far.
bets,
I've had
best
a
laughs.
very bad day
And
so far.
it's like the
So
powder
that's my
blue.
excuse.
Yeah, it's how we roll.
Yeah.
Powder
Hey,
blue.
listen,
561.
I'm
Oh,
not
my
afraid of it,
God.
man.
How about the
afraid of it.
267?
The 267, exactly.
Oh, it's the Palm Beach Broward area code.
Oh,
Get the
man.
bleep out of here with that. Because you're going to burn that hat. You should not allow her to wear it.
Dude.
Like, I would tell her, don't wear it when you're next to me. You're embarrassing me with that hat.
215 hat at least.
You
Come on.
you can't let her wear the hat. I'm
Yeah.
telling you,
No.
throw it out, burn it, do something.
Throw it overboard.
Like this way, she won't know. She'll be looking for where's my 561 at?
It's in the
And
it's in
just
the
don't
ocean.
worry about it. Now the alligator ate it.
You're making me laugh.
All right, we got a quick segment today, so we got a couple minutes. So
Yes, sir.
let's get in. Let's start tonight, Thursday Night Football, TNF. You and I we were at Parks last night, and
Great.
I love this prop. Let's talk about it. I love Daniel Jones over rushing yards tonight.
Yeah, look, I know we talked about it. Look, I personally thought it was kind of closer to the right number. They made it, I believe, 31.5. Let me bring it up on Parks right now. It is 31.5. And listen, I get it, Anthony. Look, we have a Dallas team that is struggling to stop the run at the highest of high levels. And Jones, the one thing he actually is good at is running the football. See where you're going with it. Couldn't quite get there. I do like his under and passing yards, though, which I believe was 201.5. I thought that was too high. I just anything Daniel Jones.
This one in neon, dude. And I hate to say this to you because I know, but this is in neon. I love. This is a matchup play. You know, I don't look at the numbers. I don't do the numbers. I look at the matchups, and I see there's going to be openings because Dallas's run defense is not good, and they're going to incorporate Daniel Jones in the run game, and Dallas secondary is good. You watch, and they can rush. So I think there's multiple opportunities for Daniel Jones. I'll call it now. I'll say, can I get 2-1 if it's over 40?
You can get plus 150 if you want to be bold. Over 49.5 plus 285.
Plus 285. I want to call it.
It's 285.
I'll say he rushes for 53 yards.
Oh, no.
Plus 285, man.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
That'll be pretty sweet. But you know what?
I do think he just goes over the 33, but I
But we both can be right in this thing. I like his under and passing yards. You like his over and rushing yards. Kind of go a little hand in hand in the sense that I agree that him throwing the ball is not the recipe for them winning this game. Dallas's run defense has been horrible. Singletary's been inadequate back. I expect him to get a heavy dose. Even Tyron Tracy, I think, will get a little bit of run. And, of course, as you said, I think obviously Jones in the running game is a huge aspect for this team if they have any chance of winning this game. This line, Anthony, will say this from a power ratings perspective. This line, I think it's got creeped up to 6. I think it's too high. I look at line, I actually bet plus 7. I don't think Dallas deserves to be that big of a favorite with how they've looked. If I'm just keeping it real, they beat an awful Cleveland team, right? Week 1. They got humiliated the last 2 weeks, like humiliated. I just don't know how good they are. Now, I know the Giants stink. It's not a matter of that. I know, but it's never easy to win. Anthony, look at all these NFL games. No one wins by margin.
I didn't see Cleveland Giants last week. I couldn't even get it to watch on tape.
Deshaun Watson is
stinks.
the worst of the worst of the. Did you see what he said? They go, do you think you should start running more? He goes, I'm not a running back. That's not my job. I'm not running the ball. You can't throw the ball. I can't stand him. He's probably
he's a hate to face. Yeah. I agree with you.
Right now.
He stinks too.
Stinks. Yeah. You're right. But, I lean Giants, believe it or not, even though I think Dallas wins the game. I think the line's a tick too high. I think we'll see a Dallas win for sure, but I think it'll be within a touchdown.
Okay. All right. Anything?
We got any Temples on national TV tonight? Any Temples?
Oh, yeah, Temple.
Like the over. Yeah. Like the over in the game. I like the over in the game. I think it's a little bit. Let me see what it is. I think it's around 46 right now. 46.
Yep. 46.
Yeah, I like the over. I like the over in the Temple game. I actually did bet the over in the Temple game.
What's Army's team total?
Army's been playing great. 3-0.
I know. What's their team total?
And they're not. Yeah, and Temple's turned the ball over a lot. Look, Temple had that nice win against Utah State.
Dude, Army by 3 touchdowns tonight.
Well, listen, that certainly could be. I don't know.
And it pays me to say it's a Temple man, but they can't stop. They're not going to stop that option.
Yeah, well, it's funny, Anthony. You're right. When you face that option, it's interesting. That's why my theory is, and I think you would agree with me, when they service academies play each other, the games always go way under because they face it all the time. It's like nothing.
You
it's
can't
nothing
get chunk
new.
plays off it.
Yeah, exactly. You're taking the chunk plays off it. But when you don't face it, it's a definitely a unique thing. It's harder usually to go against in a one-stop deal, so to speak. So I can see that. But I do like over in the game.
All right, I like it. All right, Brain, great stuff as always. The ambassador
Appreciate you.
for the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino
And for 561.
Stay safe in the 561.
Burn it, Brad. Burn it, brother. She don't know. She probably has 3,000 hats, right? 6,000 pairs of shoes that you bought.
Going to be done. This hat is going to be. This hat's going to be burned.
Yes.
At the stake. Okay, it's done.
My man, we love you, buddy. We'll talk to you tomorrow. There he is, the Brain checking in.
Man, Brain gives you an over. You got to hop on that. He rarely is on the overs.
He's an undersman. Yeah. He's a stone undersman. All right, let me tell you about the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. Yeah, we're talking about the game tonight. I don't think the Giants are any good. It kind of worries me. I wouldn't take the points. I think Dallas is bloated too. But in the game, when you look at the matchups, I love this prop, right? And you can bet it right on the online, right on the Bet Park Sportsbook and online casino app. The Daniel Jones rushing prop, you think about it. Dallas is a good secondary. Dallas can also rush the passer. Dallas's run defense is not good. So they'll run some read option with Daniel Jones in the run game with Singletary. And you also have an opportunity when he scrambles that he'll run. So take it. It's 33, he said. Take the over. I'm telling you, I love that tonight. And all this stuff, the props, and Temple can't stop the read option.
Army minus 20, plus 180.
Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
What's the line? I didn't see
12.
12?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. I lay it, man. I hate to say it because I'm a TU man, but lay it. You lay it on the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app, the only app that we recommend. Check it out. While you're watching the games tonight, you can play online poker or online slots like Peaky Blinders. You could play all the blackjack and roulette and all the games right on your phone. It's unbelievable. In fact, if you're a new customer and you're down in the first 24 hours, you get up to $1,000 casino bonus back. BetParks.com has all the details. You got to be in PA, New Jersey, Maryland, Michigan. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All righty. Cuz, let's talk real quick about our friends over at Rugged Road. Listen, this upcoming weekend, Saturday, obviously going to be joining the final games of the Phillies, but at night on Saturday, I'm going to be heading over to Chester for Hispanic Heritage Night over at the Union match. So we're going to do a little tailgate, all right? So if you're tailgating for whatever game it may be, the Union, the Phillies, the Eagles, you need to have the Rugged Road coolers. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about these real quick because I have my eyes right now on the Rugged Road 65 V2. The amount of drinks that you can fit in here is ridiculous. But obviously, look, we want to fit our beers, want to fit our seltzers, even our non-alcoholics, and maybe some food we need to keep cool. That's what it's there for. And you need a good cooler. Everyone at the tailgate always knows the dude or the lady with the good cooler. All right. So you always remember that. And if you're like myself, you're wondering, what is Rugged Road? All right. Rugged Road is dedicated to creating innovative and durable outdoor gear for adventurers who demand the best. Their products are designed with the highest quality materials, craftsmanship, ensuring they perform in the toughest conditions, whether you're on land or water. Rugged Road gear is built to accompany you on every adventure. And if you're a Union fan, you know there is always a high possibility that the game will be rained out or there'll be some type of rain. So it's always important to have that cooler that can withstand the weather there, all right? Best part about these coolers, they're lightweight design. So listen, if you have to carry it around, especially on the summer times, you got to walk that mile to get to the Wildwood Beach. It's very light. You and your buddy won't have any issues with that. And they're very durable. They will last for you for a long, long time, and they guarantee that as well. And they can keep everything in your cooler. They can keep cool up to 7 days. That is incredible and extremely versatile. Listen, you can use it for tailgating, but if you're more of a camper, hunter, fisher, whatever it may be, Rugged Road is perfect for whatever you're trying to do. So gear up for your next adventure with Rugged Road coolers. Reliable, durable, and built to be used, Rugged Road is your ultimate outdoor companion. Head over right now to ruggedroadoutdoors.com and make sure you're using our promo code PHLY to get your 10% off. Get your new Rugged Road cooler today and shout to our friends over at Rugged Road.
All right, JP, Rugged Road.
Rugged Road.
You know what? The Rugged Road's genius, right? Because at the youth sports games,
You see them.
everybody's got the coolers. I'm the only idiot. Everybody's got coolers and their car. They're all set up. They got all the Gatorade and water for the kids. Some of the parents probably have some pops. We know that, right? I never do. Last week it was blazing hot. And the guy goes, "Hey, you want a water in?" It's my nice. It was ice and cold. I was like, I never do this. I got to get the Rugged Road.
Got to get the Rugged
All
Road.
right, I got to do it. By the way, this portion of the program brought to you by Rite Aid. Check out your all your goods, all your scripts, everything you need at Rite Aid, RiteAid.com. And I know our next guest knows a lot about the youth sports scene. Knows a lot about a lot of sports, but he is a dad as well as the preeminent college football voice in America. The great Kevin Negandhi joins us.
Look at that shirt.
Hometown hero. What's up, my brother?
How we doing, guys? How we doing?
Yep.
Do you bring a cooler to these games?
I was just like you, Ant. I didn't bring coolers, and then I started like, all right, we're gonna be here for a doubleheader, and it's like a 12-6 situation. Here, one of my kids, I'm thirsty, and I'm like, all right, let's. So I started bringing I got one of those backpacks.
Yeah.
I did all the research, and I spent $100 on one of these awesome cooler backpacks, and it's been great, especially during, baseball season. You're on the road and stuff. And then I could actually stuff, I'm not kidding, one time I stuffed 30 cans in this backpack with a bunch of water. And,
wow.
Hero of all the parents that day.
Wow, that's incredible. That's genius, man. I run into the snack stand. The stand's always open. And these kids' games, they gouge you.
Of course.
Stadium prices?
$3 for water. What? The Wawa's around the corner. You're charging me $3?
Yeah, exactly. They got you. Where you gonna go? Where you gonna go?
Listen, I'm at Citizens Bank Park. All right, I expect to get knifed, but not when I'm in Medford Little League. Unbelievable.
Which I'm actually grateful, but it's genius. And they're like, hey, you can just Venmo us. You don't need to bring cash because half the time you don't have cash, and you're like,
exactly,
right,
exactly.
Just take my money. It's easy.
Yeah.
I want to watch the kid. I don't want to deal with anything else.
Exactly. Oh, dude, it was an abomination. We had our first football game last week. You told us about the boys, right? And you told us about that stud wide out, right? Play the X receiver. Love him. So Mossman was quarterback. We lost 26-0. Right?
Oh.
He threw 2 picks. He was snowed under. He comes walking the field. He got crushed. He's walking off the field. He's holding his shoulder after he threw a pick 6, mind you. He's like this. Hey, Daddy, they're not blocking. I said, dude, pump up your own line. You can't throw your own line under the bus.
Okay, listen, completely relatable because they moved my boy to quarterback this past weekend, and because they needed to get him touches because he wasn't getting a previous game. His first punt return, he returned to the house, and he's like, I'm not getting any other touches. And I'm like, okay. So they moved him to quarterback, and I said, this is a compliment, because they need to get you in the offense. Second offensive play, this dude on the other team brings him down and just pummels him, right? On a rollout. My wife gets up because my boy doesn't get up, and I'm in the PA booth because they asked me to be the PA, and I was like,
oh my God, I do the same thing. It's hysterical.
And my wife is running down the steps, and I'm actually in the PA booth, and I'm like, he's fine. Do not go down there. He's fine. Let him get up, right? He slowly gets up. He goes to the sidelines, and I'm just like, there's a lot of ego hurt. He's got a reality check right now. He comes back in the game. makes 2 great runs, all that stuff. Then I have to leave in the fourth quarter. It's a 6-6 game, by the way. He threw a touchdown pass, 6-6 game. I've got to leave to go coach my 10-year-old in flag. So I'm leaving in the fourth quarter, and in the flag game, I'm coaching my 10-year-old. He goes down, gets hit in the with a cleat in the head, going for a flag. So I got to pull him up. We put an ice bag and all. I'm texting my wife. I'm like, "Hey, Noah's down. Where are you?" Because she should be coming after his Brandon, my oldest's game. And she's like, "I'm on my way to urgent care. I think your son broke his wrist." I'm like, "What is going on?" So it turns out, like, in overtime, he, on a busted play, makes this phenomenal run. And basically 3 dudes tackle him. He lands on that same wrist that he hurt earlier in the game. And here's the thing, like, nothing. I was like, I'm sure it's not broken, but it's first experience and stuff like that. It's a sprain and all that. Well, here's what I love. And this is about parenting, right? We'll bring this up real quick. I'll make this shorter. He's like, he comes back out of soft cast. And I was like, "You all right?" "I'm all right, Dad." I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "It felt like my wrist was detached." I'm like, "You just got hit. That's all it Nothing's broken, right?" And then his brother goes, "Oh, it's going to be so cool now. You'll be on the sidelines in your jersey and you get to watch the game." And I stopped them both and I said, "There's nothing cool about that. Trust me.
God.
We don't watch games as injured players and think that's cool. There's nothing cool about any of that. You're lucky you didn't break your hand, but there's nothing cool." He goes to practice. The oldest goes to, because he's still like,
Yeah.
Right? He comes back. He goes, "That sucked, Dad. I don't want to be hurt anymore. I'm good. I'm taking the soft cast off." And I said, no. You're going to rest all week, but you never, ever, ever think it's cool. It's not cool to be hurt. Not cool to be injured. And all week long, he's been trying to convince his mom and me, "Can I play? I can play. And I'm like, "We're going to rest it for the week, and then you're going to come back." But now you know the difference of a sprain,
Yes,
broken wrist, and then I said a lot of that was an ego, like, deflation, right? And I'm sure your son went through the whole thing, right? It's like, "Oh no, I'm not perfect." It's football.
Exactly. Massimo was like, even yesterday he's talking. He's like, "Yeah, mommy, I mean, I got hurt. Like, I got hit. I got my chest, my ribs. I got hit." I go, "Dude," I go, "You're fine." I go, I said, "See," I said, you got hit hard, but you didn't die. You got up. You're good.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
I said, "You're tough, dude. Take it. You're tough."
You're
All
tough.
right, Massimo,
Without
you're
question.
tough.
Yep.
All right, Daddy. And then, like, of course, my wife's like, "Stop saying that." I'm like, "Well, no, he's gonna learn it."
Hey, that's a fine line. Listen,
that's
I totally
our
get that.
podcast.
You're
Two
trying
dads.
to teach your boy, right? You're trying to teach your boy,
I know.
but that's your wife's baby. And at the same time, you're like, "Listen, we've all gone through it. He's gonna be fine. I don't want to hear it. Let's go."
Yeah. All right. Bunch of things to get to.
Let's go.
Sirianni. I'm to the point where I almost feel sorry for him. When he talks, I'm like, "Oh, this poor guy." Like, he's earnest. But, man. Kevin. Oh, Kevin.
And to your point, like, all we want is authenticity and somebody who's just authentic to themselves. And I think sometimes Nick does things to placate everybody around him.
Yes.
And now the authentic part of Nick was probably the emotional guy on the sidelines, right? And you got to bring that down and moderate it. And I think he's learned that from last year, right? You're like, "You can't be here. You can't be here. You've got to be here no matter what," right? But sometimes in these news conferences, like, I think he says things to placate, like, the audience or placate somebody instead of just, "Hey, man, just, like, sometimes less is more. You don't need to explain, like, a lot of mumbo jumbo, and then we don't even know how we started to get to this destination conversation with that answer." And I think sometimes he just tries way too hard. And let me tell you, these fourth down calls, he hasn't hit on one of them in the first 3 games, and I believe talent's the difference on why they won that game on on Sunday, but eventually coaching a role to win a game.
Yeah, they're bad. Like there's no reason why that you would not kick the field goal at the end of the first half. Like you wanted one more shot at the end zone from the 15-yard line. It's like nonsensical.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get a lot of it. I don't get trying to the 60-yarder as well. There's things you're like, what are we doing, man? Like you're literally the opposite right now. You do the George Costanza and do the opposite of what your gut's telling you.
Yes. What do you make of now? Tampa's hurt, so they got a lot of injuries on defense, especially. But all in all, like we know, no AJ Brown, no Devontae. It's going to be lean. You take 2-2 going into the bye. I mean, listen, worst case scenario, they lose. You're 2-2 going into the bye. The rest of the NFC, like the Lions are good. There's a couple good teams, but nobody's great.
Nobody's great.
If Fangio gets the defense and Jalen Carter's a game wrecker, right? And you get rolled, you get AJ back, your offense is there. There's no reason why they can't go on a run.
I completely agree with you. I completely agree. This is why Saquon Barkley was so important.
Yeah.
He's the reason why they're 2-1, right? In all 3 games, right? I know he took responsibility for that loss, but like he's the reason why they walked out of the Superdome with a win. And he's going to be critical this weekend because while Tampa Bay maybe beat up, Todd Bowles, Temple guy, has the recipe on how to attack Jalen Hurts. We saw that in the playoff game a few years ago. We saw that in the last playoff game. Like he understands how to blitz him, how to create havoc for Jalen Hurts and make Jalen Hurts uncomfortable. And then when you lose the dynamic ability of A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, the short game plays a critical role. You lose Covey. 26 is going to be the key here. You've got to be comfortable with a quick dump off and let's move on. And then just pick up some first downs, move. I think you're going to see a lot of 2 tight end sets. They picked up Stoll this week. You're going to see them make sure they try to protect, Jalen Hurts. Jalen just cannot force anything and put the team in a bad situation with a turnover. He just can't. You can't do that. He's got to protect the ball here because he's going to see a lot of things from Todd Bowles. And you brought up Jalen Carter. Talent won that game on Sunday. Talent won that game. Hear me again. Talent won that game. We have been talking about it repeatedly that sometimes some coaching decisions have crushed this team, and they have. They put them in bad spots. But Jalen Carter's talent changed the entire outlook of that defense. They responded to Fangio and the messaging, right? That's a big deal. And if he can maintain that level of play, it changes how they're going to attack, how they're going to approach. And it makes me feel a little bit positive if they're 2-2 coming out of the bye and the rest of, like you said, the NFC and how that shakes out. I think that's the key. And I'm starting to trust Kellen Moore a lot more as the weeks go on, that no matter what, he's going to have an answer or at least respond in a certain way if he sees something he doesn't like.
Yeah, no, dude, I'm completely with you. Really, when you look at it, I got to ask you. I cannot wait for tomorrow night or Saturday night. Dude, I mean Georgia, Alabama
is amazing.
Amazing. My God! And I don't know. I'm curious. We were texting this morning, and I brought it up to you. Georgia's lacking some explosiveness on the outside. Like I like back, but Georgia, like they're a tick off, right?
Yeah, and it's hard to judge Beck because he has struggled against Kentucky throughout. Yeah, Georgia in general has struggled against Kentucky over the last 3 to 4 years, especially at Kentucky. So you give Kirby 2 weeks. The thing that's killing him, when you look at the offense from a year ago, you don't have Brock Bowers, a first pick who's been fantastic for the Raiders, and Donkey was always the safety valve. He was the one that allowed that offense to kind of spread out a little bit. And I think that offense desperately misses those 2 guys right now. They haven't had consistent running game attack, and ATN with the suspension early on. I think they're going to rely heavily on that to kind of get comfortable. I'm very curious about the game because I want to see Kalen DeBoer. I want to see the offensive DeBoer. I want to see Jalen Milroe. I'm curious about Georgia's defense because Georgia's defense still top 5 defense in the country, but not the Georgia that we've seen the last couple of years. So what do they do against Milroe? Because the ability to run, extend plays, and then Malachi Starks, where is he at on the field? He's going to be one of the top defensive backs in the country in the draft. Where is he on the field when Ryan Williams is lined up? The 17-year-old true freshman who could be a senior in high school right now, but he's playing at Alabama. Where's that matchup going to play out here? I can't wait for that. That, to me, is going to be standing out among all of this. And the cool thing about this, Ed, this could be game 1 of a trilogy this season.
Wow, I know.
So
oh, my God.
Right in the SEC championship game, and they could meet in the playoff. So I can't moving parts. How DeBoer responds in that first big game in the environment in Tuscaloosa.
What are you making a face at?
You guys just counting out the Vols. Not the SEC championship? Come on. What's going on here? You guys are crazy. I don't know what y'all are smoking this morning, but Vols going to be in this championship.
Hey, how do we feel about that? That game, by the way, was ugly. That Oklahoma game was just...
You were right. Their defense is legit.
Insane.
Yeah.
Their defense is national championship caliber, especially that front line. They've got some guys that are first rounders, and you're like, oh, wow, this is taking us back to, when they were a dominant team under Phil Fulmer. So I really like that defense a lot. I just love that you're on the Vols train. And
I got to ask you, like for all our listeners, since this is our surrogate team, if they lose
surrogate team,
they have Bama and Georgia on the roster. Can they lose? If they lose both of them, are they out of the playoffs?
No, I think they could still make the playoff. We'll see how it shakes out. They could potentially be like an 11 seed.
Okay.
So that's the joy of that, and I think the appeal of the playoff. Like, you could still make it potentially because of the schedule. How about, you talk about schedule too. How about Georgia? You've got to go on the road at Alabama. You've got to go on the road at Texas next month. And I think they got to go on the road at Ole Miss in November.
They do. And Ole Miss is legit.
Insane.
They're scary, man.
So we had Jackson Dart on the show yesterday. Great kid. And that offense, I'm telling you, man, Tennessee and Ole Miss, watching those two offenses are unbelievable. It's a hell of a lot of fun. And we mentioned Tennessee. Ole Miss's defensive front, they went in the portal. They spent millions of dollars and recruited a ton of SEC guys to come play defense. Ole Miss is one of those teams where they're like, hey, let everybody talk about you guys. We'll quietly continue to build. They got LSU coming up next month, and of course they got Georgia. I'm really high on Lane Kiffin's squad.
I am too. Let me ask you. There's a big story this week about the kid from UNLV.
Oh, yeah.
The quarterback who I guess felt like he was outperforming his deal right? I guess the university said they did pay him some money, but decided to leave. What does that do to the landscape of that we're already in uncertainty?
So the uncertainty is going to continue because there's no guardrails in the sport right now. They're still awaiting the court's decision with pay for play. And that is the big deal here, pay for play. So the information I've gathered so far, we're talking about Matthew Sluka, Holy Cross 4-year player who transferred to UNLV. They're off to a 3-0 start. They have a 16% chance to actually make the playoff as part of the group of 5 because of how well they started. A promise was made to Sluka when he went to UNLV by an assistant coach that he would get $100,000. Now, the school cannot make that payment. The collective has to make the payment because it's not pay for play right now. That's illegal at the moment.
Right.
And so $100,000 was allegedly promised to him by an assistant coach. The head coach said, I didn't make that promise. So now you didn't get anything in writing. The family of Sluka hired an agent. The agent saying, hey, the value, we need money now. Look at the NIL. Look at where we're at. Look what you've done for this program. We know your value. Where's the money? So Sluka's played 3 games. And the way the NCAA is, inside 4 games, you could redshirt. So he wants the ability to make money next year. And everybody, the easy thing is, oh, let's blame the player. No, this is not the player's fault. He's finding value. He's figuring things out. I think this is the NCAA's fault for the gray area and the interpretation. And maybe the family should have got it in writing. And maybe there should have been some more direct communication to get a promise, to get something in writing on who's promised.
Yeah, you can't blame the family. You're navigating uncharted waters, right?
Exactly.
Without representation, you can't blame the family. And the truth is too, like the kid is a borderline prospect. So like any kind of he's probably not going to play at the next level. So let him go somewhere else and get paid. He deserves it.
But we've never seen a kid, a starting quarterback on a team that's ranked 23rd in the coaches poll, that's 3-0 and still has some playoff dreams, to say, I'm going to redshirt. But guess what, man? You are going to see, and fellas, you are going to see a ton of guys redshirt now, because you redshirt after 3 or 4 games, you get enough on tape.
Yeah.
And then find a program that's going to pay you.
Yeah.
The kids. You cannot blame the kids when they're actually following the system that's set up. And I will add one more thing. I want to say this specifically. There's a lot out there about, he's giving up on the team. Okay. Then what do you say to the coach who gives up and leaves the team during bowl season?
Yes.
Yeah. Say to that coach.
Yes.
Who's already making millions
and
going. You're not going to get in the way of a man making his money.
Yeah.
Right. So if a kid who's not making millions and also understands that I'm just following the rules, I'm looking at the adults, and he does this, you can't just say this is all the kid's fault. You just can't.
And we're seeing Bear Alexander's doing that now because he doesn't like his playing time.
That is an interesting one with Bear Alexander. So I also think it's individuals that you have to look to. Bear Alexander went to 4 different high schools, and now this is his 3rd different college football program. So at a certain point, you got to sense a theme here. So I think this is like a case by case thing, and say, pause here. And I don't think it's going to help Bear Alexander in the long run when you look at all his travels.
All right, last thing, Red October, my brother. How you feeling? Turner hitting the home run last night was big.
Big deal.
I think he's the key, because if Turner hits, you know Schwarber's going to give you, you know what Harper's going to give you, right? Like that lineup is dangerous if Turner's hot.
If you ask anybody who follows baseball, any of the fan bases, which roster would you like to have compared to their roster? I think many of them would pick the Phillies because of the frontline pitching and how their bullpen's set up, right? And also, listen, the first 3 hitters, man. The first 3 hitters, when they're hot, everything's amazing.
Yeah.
But when they're in a collective drought, all 3 of them, holy cow, is it bad for everybody. So I think the key, the entire playoff run, will be specifically those 3 guys. They cannot get into a slump all together. One of them has to carry one, or it'd be amazing if it's 2 of them who has to carry, because then it changes the whole dynamic of the order going down. It changes how Bohm approaches Castellanos, how they do everything, because there's some holes in the back end. My whole thing is this with the Phillies, is the motivation. That I think they're motivated, but they have to be consistently motivated day in and day out here, big picture wise, because Padres are freaking smoking right now.
I know. They scare me.
Right? It's like, that magic we know about it from the last 2 years, and the Phillies are what the Braves were from last year, right?
Yeah.
Can you find a way to make sure that switch is flipped on and stays on? Because the switch was already on the final 2 weeks of September the last 2 years, right? And they carried it into it. You got to make sure that switch is on now.
Yeah, they're scary. Padres are scary because you got Musgrove's back and pitching well, right? Their lineup, Tatis is back now, and their lineup stretches with Tatis in there, with Machado and Bogarts and Cronenworth. Like all of a sudden, Arise leading off.
The kid who potentially is going to be in the final 2 for Rookie of the Year, Jackson Merrill. If wasn't pitching, he'd be a shoe-in to win Rookie of the Year. He's hitting without fear.
And Bob Nightingale touched on it too. Their building is rocking.
It's like our
crowd is
back
fun. When they're rolling, that building is alive.
Yeah,
that's a great point. You're right.
Yeah. All right, brother. You're the best. Give my nephews a hug for me. Tell them I said they're tough. Way to go, guys.
I appreciate that. And if the weather holds up, let's fingers crossed for everybody that's gonna, be in the path of Helene. I'll be live on SportsCenter tomorrow from Tuscaloosa.
You're looking live, Tuscaloosa. Oh my God,
that was good.
For that game. Oh, it's gonna be awesome. You're the best, brother. We love you.
Take care, guys. Thank you.
There he is, Kevin Negandhi. That's going to be an amazing game, man.
It's nice to have a bye week. I can sit back and enjoy it.
Yeah. Bye week. You
sit back and enjoy it.
I love it. Tell us about Rite Aid, my man.
Oh, man, it's allergy season. Relentless. It's nonstop. Ragweed, mold. Right now, ragweed is off the chart. So if you're acting up, that's your problem. The symptoms. Runny nose, itchy, watery eyes, wheezing, fogginess, might be a little dizzy. So what can you do to get relief? First of all, sign up for Rite Aid Reward emails at riteaid.com/rewards to receive email alerts in your area for different allergens. You can use a dehumidifier, shower frequently, keep your windows closed, but it's so hard to do when the weather's nice. So open the windows and take some meds. What kind of meds do you take? Well, Rite Aid's got a bunch of over-the-counter options available for you at your local Rite Aid. You can try a nasal rinse to flush out those nasal passages. And when your symptoms are flaring up or pollen counts are going to be high, grab some antihistamines such as Claritin or Zyrtec. You can also, if the nose sprays that you're drawing, some nasal corticosteroid nose sprays like Flonase and Nasacort. And Rite Aid's got all this stuff in their own brand name, which saves you a little bit of money and is just as effective. Still not enough relief. Ask a Rite Aid pharmacist if a different type of allergy medication like a decongestant might be necessary. And you can always ask your Rite Aid pharmacist for recommendations on ways to get relief during allergy season.
Thanks. I was at Parks Casino last night doing Cousin's Corner. And I think the air filtration system at the casino, because it's so good.
They're good at the casinos.
Dude, my allergies went away.
We got to get something in here, man.
All right, now it's like, now I've been here for a little bit. It's starting to, I sense it.
Yeah.
Right? I'm starting to feel it. I got to run back to Parks.
But it's like they're pumping oxygen in those casinos.
They are.
You walk in the Parks,
the filtration,
you're just like
the air. I actually caught myself breathing like, oh my God, I can breathe. Like right now, I can't breathe. And the mold spores in this building, whatever it is starting to attack me.
The skeeve spores.
Yeah, everywhere. Exactly. That's why you got to go to Parks Casino to breathe. Also for incredible excitement.
The Excite
Center, right? Parks Casino is amazing. It's Pennsylvania's #1 casino. Street Road exit off at 95 and the PA Turnpike in suburban Philadelphia. The Excite Center, state-of-the-art venue. That's right, inside Parks Casino. One of the best places for concert, boxing, comedy. Tickets on sale for these headliners tonight. I was with this guy last night, Joe Bartnick. He's from the Bill Burr podcast. He's hysterical. Great sportsman. He's a Pittsburgh guy. Nice. The only bad thing about him is he's a Penguins fan.
I mean, what's he supposed to be?
Yeah, but he's hard. But he's our guy. Like he's a stone cool guy. Like loves new sports. Like because he's from Pittsburgh, he was a Sixer man. Because I love the Sixers. He goes, we had no basketball team.
Yeah. Yep.
So it was Julie Jerving and Fish say Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
But the Penguins talk.
I know. But he's you were with him. Yeah. Joe, how great was Joe?
Oh, he's fantastic. Yeah.
Right? Funny guy.
So funny.
I mean, you can't expect him to adopt the Flyers with the track record.
Nah, he's a real Pittsburgh guy, too. Joe Conklin Comedy Night is hosting Joe Bartnick. So you can see Joey, the whole thing. Don't forget, October 4th, the Juicy Scoop podcast with Heather McDonald from Bravo and Chelsea Lately. October 5th, comedian Kev Herrera. October 24th, TLC. November 1st, Invincible, tribute to Michael Jackson. November 16th, Bret Michaels.
Every rose has its song.
November 23rd, comedian Steve Trevino. December 6th, Patti LaBelle.
Oh, the Queen. It should be Queen Patti LaBelle.
Yes, there you go. Parks Casino, this is how you win. ParksCasino.com to buy tickets for all shows. Got to be 21. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right. This portion of the program brought to you by True Mark Financial. Credit Union. And I look forward to it because it's a Meat Locker Thursday. And the man, the myth, the legend, Baldy.
Baldy. Oh, let's talk some football. Ay, Baldy. Oh, he likes meats and football. Oh, Baldy.
That's right. The legend. Meat Locker Thursday. Let me ask you, because all the talk is hurricanes. Does Baldy have a hurricane story?
Do I have a hurricane story? I mean, Hurricane Helene is hitting Florida right now. It's before I get to the story, cuz is this game on Sunday in the balance? Could it be flipped to Monday? Are you hearing that?
No, because it's going through today. Okay. So it should be all clear. I mean, it should be clear by tomorrow, Saturday. So everything should be all right.
I don't have a hurricane story, but I got a tornado story.
Oh, get out.
My dad was a helicopter pilot. We were living in Minnesota, and we were flying from Minneapolis to St. Cloud, Minnesota, which is in the middle of the state.
Right.
And I don't know if we were delivering mail, if we were picking somebody up. I forget exactly. But I was in the passenger seat. And the weather is it's stormy, but right in front of us, we see this funnel cloud. And my dad was a good pilot, man, but we see this funnel cloud. We got to put the bird down. We're over farms. We're landing in a farm right here, and we're just holding our breath that this funnel doesn't come our way because, these tornadoes. I've been hit by a tornado in the town of Minnesota one time. It tore up everything on the opposite side of the street, and on our side of the street, we were fine. It never happened.
Oh my God!
The wildest thing, the trek of where it goes. I'll never forget that funnel cloud. Because it comes out of kind of nowhere,
Wow.
You think it's thunderstorms, whatever, and then you just see that shape, and it's just it's this thing, it's
the cone.
This funnel that comes out of nowhere, and you're like, okay, we gotta put this thing down, man. We're not gonna try to outrun it. We're gonna do anything stupid. We're just gonna get it down.
Put the bird down.
I remember that day.
Damn.
Yeah,
that's frightening. My God. Put the bird down. You even talk.
He says it so casually.
Yeah,
put the bird down.
But that's helicopter talk.
Yeah.
Well, helicopter pilot talk is the bird.
Yeah.
No, but the thing is, my dad was a pilot, right? So everything was, even the time of the day, it was 1,300 hours. Everything was military, aeronautical. So all these different things you just heard growing up, it's
wow.
It's like a football analyst talking, 3 techniques, it just comes out of you.
No, you're right. It's funny. When I was in college, I worked at Midway Airlines, and I worked in ops, but I also was a baggage handler. Right, I worked on the ramp. I was a ramp rat, throwing bags into the belly of the aircraft.
Inspector.
And I would do the.
Oh yeah! Oh sweet!
I was. I had the
you
batons.
right here.
Oh yeah,
man, that's cool.
Yeah, exactly. Here it is.
That is
Here
sweet.
it is. And this was stop, right? Stop. And it was always that talk was, and you had to fill out the paperwork for how much 2,000. It was 2,000 pounds for the fuel, and they had the passengers, but everything was always in military time. Yeah. Right, so 1,300 hours, 1 o'clock.
Yeah,
right. You would go to military, and I used to love, you talk to the pilot, that was cool stuff. I'm with you. I like that stuff.
No, but even for example, my dad was military, right? So his wake up time was dark 30. It's a half hour past, but it's still dark. Dark 30 was probably 5:30 in the morning. Could be 4:30 some days. Dark 30. Yeah, and then just, you're flying either VFR, you could be flying with your instruments, you could be flying without your instruments, depending on weather. So you just, altitude, was always, a particular number to let you know if you're in good shape. There was just so many things that you heard being, just being up in, whether it was in a helicopter.
Did you ever want to be a pilot? I could see you as a pilot.
I tell you what, man. Honest to God, like I'm good at math, but you have to be excellent at math always. But my dad's got more certificates and more different, airplanes, helicopters, military. Like he never stopped studying. Like he was always either taking a remedial course on something because some engine got updated, or he was getting a new license and some Sikorsky helicopter when he was working at Boeing. I felt like he studied. He never stopped studying. There was always books and manuals that he was learning something from his whole life.
Wow. That's like you with football.
A little bit. I don't think my dad was like in like what I'm doing right now, but it's similar. Like you never stop studying because like it always changes because everything, you watch Green Bay right now and they got a Jordan Love offense we all saw in Brazil. Well, now it's Malik Willis offense. And Matt LaFleur has done an incredible job of morphing the offense around his skills. And they're actually playing better now than they've ever played with Malik. But, and so if you're an analyst, you got to understand, this is a different offense than Jordan Love. But it's still really good. But, every week you saw what Philadelphia did to stop the run last week and, the late stemming and the six-man fronts and all the stuff that Vic did. Well, if you're not studying that stuff, you don't know how they did it. You just think, they just played better. Okay, well, they also have a better scheme against that.
So, all right, let's walk right into it. Let's walk into Tampa because you were real high on Tampa. Now, they got crushed by injuries, too. And you go in to play Sean Payton, Broncos team. Sean Payton, a great coach. Where are the Buccaneers at? What happened in that game?
Well, not to make excuse, injuries aren't ever an excuse, but no Vita Vea, no Kalijah Cansey, no Antoine Winfield Jr. They're a little shorthanded. Bo Nix made some throws to his wide receivers that he hadn't thrown. They couldn't run a lick except for one run at the end of the game. They're good against the run. Defensively, Denver, that's where they made their bones. They played a great game. They're going to be, and so Tampa didn't get the running game going at all. For whatever reason, Mike Evans and Chris Godwin were invisible, and Baker was under siege. And he couldn't get the ball to his wide receivers. They couldn't run it. They scored one touchdown the whole day, and they turned it over a little bit. So it was a departure from what they did the week before against in Detroit, or the week one where it's in Washington. But this I know. Todd Bowles is, if he thinks your quarterback has weaknesses, whether it's in protection or he reads the rush or he doesn't see the field, he will put you under siege. He will come after you like he did Jaden Daniels week one, relentlessly. They were up 37-16 with 2 minutes to go in the game. He was still blitzing Jaden Daniels. It's who he is. And he doesn't believe that Jalen, now maybe it'll change with Kellen Moore as the offense coordinator, but in that playoff loss last year, he said the quarterback's reading the rush and they got no answer to the blitz. And that's what they did to him.
Well, it's going to be interesting because it looks through 3 games that they've provided answers to pressure, right? He's been much better against the blitz. Coming in with that Lane, looks like Lane, may be tough if Lane plays. So
I think Lane can play.
Really?
Yeah. I think he's fine. Wow. I think Devontae, I think, won't play, but I think Lane's going to be okay.
Oh, wow. I mean, that would
I'm not here to give you an injury report, but I mean, just.
No. Yeah.
But, I think he feels pretty good.
Oh, that's great. That's great to hear. So how do you think Bowles plays it, knowing that, he's got some answers hot, right? But I still think if you're going to beat the Eagles, I still think you can't be afraid of you have to pressure.
Well, he's going to pressure. The thing that he has confidence in is his 2 corners, Zion McCollum, all right, and Jamel Dean. They're both, I don't know. I mean, they're 6'3". They're huge. Yeah. And they can run. And they defend a lot of passes. Zion McCollum, 2 weeks ago against Jared Goff, made him look like he was just a backup quarterback. They're talented when it comes to defending the ball, breaking on the ball. They're a zone team. They see the release. They make good breaks, and they're long. So they're good. Now, I don't know what AJ's status is. I mean, certainly I don't think he's going to go, but they're shorthanded out there. So I feel like they're going to sit on whoever's out there. Paris Campbell, Dallas Goedert, whatever they got, they're going to sit on these routes, and they're going to try and keep Jalen in the pocket, make him throw. So you might see some mush rush from him, but you're going to see some free hitters coming at Jalen Hurts and see if he can respond.
So if I'm the Eagles, I go back to what we've talked about, right? I'm the Birds. It goes back to Barkley, right? It goes back to Barkley, especially with the Buccaneers banged up front in the middle. I got to go between the tackles. I'm not going to go with RPOs and all that stuff. Downhill. Barkley's a downhill runner. So don't screw it. Like, don't be too cute. Run the freaking ball between the tackles.
I would say this. If Saquon gets between 25 and 30 carries, the Eagles are going to win the game. Like, to me, like the way you defeat the blitz, the way you defeat speed is you got to feed the beast. And so there's all kinds of ways, yeah, I mean, look, they're playing great up front. Now, I don't know if Makai's going. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But, Steen played well. Fred played well. Yeah, so Cam's playing great. Landon's playing great. The best thing about Mulata is nobody's talking about him. That's how good he's been and consistent. So, they have enough. Like, you're shorthanded probably. No Devontae, Covey. Like, okay, you're shorthanded. Like, your best player is Saquon. So, read option, all those things that you combine, make him account for Jalen as a runner. But, yes, if Saquon, I'll just say this right now. If Saquon gets 25 or more carries, the Eagles will come home with a win.
Yeah, I love it. I'm with you. All right, let's go around the league. There's so much I'm going to talk to you about. The Cowboys, right? Like, what do you make of that team?
Well, they're not a great roster. They're not. I mean, look, cuz I played for the Cowboys. I know the history of that organization from 1960. I don't care if they always had a Walt Garrison, Dan Reeves, Tony Dorsett, Emmitt Smith, Tony Pollard, Ezekiel Elliott in his prime. They always had great running backs. Always. DeMarco Murray led the league in rushing. They always had great backs. They don't have a back.
Rico Suave is your best back.
I'm just saying, like, Deuce Vaughn is like, when you start playing Cavante Turpin and Deuce Vaughn, like, you become a sawed-off team. You get to be Brandon Cooks, like, you're a little team. I don't like little teams, cuz. I don't like little teams in anything. I like big power forwards. I don't like 6'5" power forwards. I like big men. It's a big man's game. They look small to me. That's one thing. Number two, I could pull out YouTube highlights of Lamar Jackson in Pompano Beach, Florida, as a 15-year-old kid running read option. The Cowboys acted like they never saw that play before. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, how they had no answers. I talked to Bart Scott yesterday, who played a long time for Rex Ryan. He drew up a flipper, like two ways to stop that play. Like, and I'm just looking at it going, yeah, that's actually assignment football. And by the way, if your quarterback wants to run read option, make sure you smack him real hard.
Yes.
Right? Whether they hit the ball or not. Just make them pay. Like, they didn't do anything. And then their tackling was atrocious on defense. And so, like, they have, like, honestly, the Giants aren't a great team, but they played really well last week. They played better the week 2 than they did week 1. Like, they have a fighter's chance. And no, Micah Parsons has destroyed this offense since he came into this league, so I don't know. And I'm sure he's going to be motivated national TV. He doesn't have big numbers yet, but I'm sure he's going to make life difficult for Daniel Jones. But this Malik Neighbors, he looks like Sterling Sharp to me. The guy is a stud. So, like, what I make of the Cowboys is I don't think it's a good roster. And I think that defensively right now, they've got real fundamental issues. They all can change in an instant. Stopping the run is like the Eagles showed you is scheme, and it's being in the right gaps. And you can stop a run. Anybody. They got to get back to the fundamentals of how to stop a run.
Is this a suddenly true statement? The second best team in the NFC East is Washington.
No, it's not. Because defensively, they're atrocious. Just atrocious, guys.
I tried to be salacious there.
No, I mean, I didn't have to hesitate. Like, they gave up 39 touchdown passes last year, the worst in the league. Only the Eagles were even close to them with 35. They've given up 9 in 3 games. They can't play man coverage. They can't play zone coverage. They're not a great pass rushing team. I mean, they've given up 9 touchdown passes to 3. They're on pace to give up 50 touchdown passes. So, can you be the second best team if you played that defense? Yes, Jaden Daniels has been amazing. Cliff Kingsbury and Jaden is a great combination. They have scored on every single drive 2 weeks in a row. I've never seen that before. But so offensively, I think they're going to be good, although he lost Austin Eckler, and that's a lot. He's their kickoff returner. He gives that team an extra dimension. So they don't have a second back. Jeremy Nichols stinks. So, like, you have to – I don't know if they have somebody in the practice squad, but I'm not ready to say that they're the second best team.
All right, let's keep going further around the NFC and then the conference. How much trouble are the Niners in because of all the injuries?
Yeah. Look, I mean, so you lose Debo, you lose Kittle, you lose Christian McCaffrey, and Juwan Jennings goes off for 200 yards. They couldn't stop him. In fact, that's the guy they should have paid the way he's playing. Like, he's doing everything right now in that offense. I don't know if it's just training camp, but Brandon Ayuk looks like a shadow of himself. Jordan Mason leads the league. I mean, I think he's second in rushing to Saquon right now. I mean, they're still a good offense. Defensively, though, if Fred Taylor's not knocking the ball out or making some sensational play, their defensive front is invisible. And they just lost Hargrave for the season. They were already weak at defensive tackle.
I know.
Leonard Floyd hadn't done much. Nick is still Nick to a degree, but he can't do it by himself. Like, they're not a strong defense. And for the Rams, who were completely broken, no Nakua, no Kupp, no Higbee, rookie center, first-year left guard, to go down the field and beat that team down 14-0, it tells you that I think they're in some trouble.
So I look at the conference and I go, like, I legitimately like Detroit. I think the Lions are legit.
I don't.
You don't like the Lions? Okay.
Well, I mean, look, I mean, I'm not saying they can't. They're a 20-point offense right now. Jared Goff looks like the guy that Sean McVay wanted to get rid of. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, they score on a hook and lateral with 20 seconds to go in the half. They lose the game to Arizona last week.
Yeah.
But defense, I mean, they got talent. You know, Hutch, Branch, like they got some real players.
I love their running game, so I love their back. So I like
the run game is good, cuz.
And I'm a Jamison Williams guy, and if you play them in a dome, I think they're dangerous, right? I think they got to get.
I'm just saying, Detroit through 3 weeks has not been impressive, but they're still talented. So I don't want to dismiss them by any chance. I mean,
I'm just talking about the landscape of the conference because I go, well, who's really good in this conference, right? Like, I think
good.
Who?
Minnesota is legit.
You believe in Darnold?
Well, no, I mean, forget about Sam and forget about Kevin O'Connell, who's an elite play caller.
Great coach. Great coach.
Okay. Just watch what Brian Flores is doing.
Oh, he's great. I agree. Yeah.
Go listen to the soundbite of C.J. Stroud going up to Flores after the game. He's never been this confused in his life.
Yeah.
What they're doing defensively right now, and they picked up on Gilmore, legit, like for what they need in that defense. Flores is a great coach. And right now, I mean, there's Pittsburgh and there's Minnesota. Those two defenses are just better than everybody else's. Right
no,
now.
I agree. I was going to ask you about Flores getting a job at some point because he's a great.
I don't know if he's a head coach, honestly. He's a great defensive coordinator.
He is. He's an amazing.
I don't know if he's the head coach. I mean, I'm not saying he can't do it. He won't get a second chance.
Right.
But what he does, his defense just continues to evolve. And honestly, it's the most confusing defense to study.
Yeah.
They just have, like, for example, take a guy like Andrew Van Ginkel. Like, to me, he's the defensive player of the year.
Yeah.
All right. Sack. He's got 3 sacks. He's got an interception return for a touchdown. He's got all these tackle for losses. He leads the team in tackle. I mean, he's just an amazing player. But he was with Flores in Miami. He's like, I don't even have a position for him. I just call him a defender. Josh Metellus. I don't know what position he is. He's just a defender. He puts these guys, it's the definition of positionless football, you know? And so they got 4 new starters in their defensive line. They're fun to watch. They're really fun to watch defensively.
Yeah. No, I mean, listen, you bring up a good point, which is forget Darnold because with that defense and the way the league has turned, right? Like the sea change in the league where, defense and running the football, it's amazing. And I'll be honest with you, I love it. Everybody cries up, points are down. I love this football. I think it's hard football. It's interesting. It really, I'm enjoying it.
Well, I mean, Mel Kiper came out and said, ban cover 2. Like, stop the nonsense. Brian Flores is playing 3 deep coverage. They're not getting the ball over their heads. Like, go. Like, this game is always evolving. So who's going to evolve? For a long time it was Bill Walsh, Mike Holmgren, Andy Reid, West Coast. Well, Andy Reid doesn't run that right now. I mean, that offense is now going through Rashee Rice. It's not Travis Kelce. Like, they're a power run team. It's Rashee Rice. It's Xavier. Andy has evolved. They're not playing great offensively, but they're playing enough to, Spags is doing enough that they're winning these games. But I like it because I want to see how offenses are going to evolve here. Are you going to be able to – can Saquon run it 30 times in Tampa this weekend? He probably needs an IV at halftime. But, I kind of want to see if that's what the Eagles decide to do. I'm with you. I think they should do that. But you always have to go, okay, like if you look at Kevin O'Connell right now, like Justin Jefferson is legit the best receiver in football. Like nobody really could cover him, whatever. So he uses them in key spots as a decoy, knowing the defense is going to double him, take him away, whatever. And then here comes Aaron Jones, wide open on shallow cross. Like these, man, they're just ahead of the game. Malik Willis comes in, man, like the guy, if Tennessee had to do it all over again, they never would have drafted Will Levis. They would have kept, Malik Willis, but they don't have that type of play caller.
No.
The way Matt LaFleur is, so like Caleb Williams is a good player. His play caller stinks. If you put him with Cliff Kingsbury, maybe he's having more success. So like coaching, it just matters. It's just the difference. NBA, you could throw LeBron out there and you could throw, JoJo out there. You could play winning basketball. Football.
Nah, it's a coach's game.
Battle. It's a battle.
I'm with you. It's a complete coach's game. Speaking of coaches and speaking of offenses, can we go to Buffalo for a second? Because that Buffalo-Baltimore game is going to be incredible Sunday night. And what the Bills are doing, everybody cried, oh, you let Stephon Diggs go. And I remember you and I talking about it, and you saying, look, man, with Cook and with Allen, you know what kind of team they're going to be. And they're going to get it done. And they look fantastic. I mean,
okay.
They look great.
Right, let's go to Buffalo, okay? Because you know how much respect Matt had for Joe Brady.
Yep.
Now, it didn't work out. Okay, I got it. Guy's a good coach.
Great coach. Yep.
So you watch what he did to Doug Peterson and his defensive staff there, and it was X's and O's. Like their motions, their shifts, the things that they did to Jacksonville, forget it. Now, Aaron Cromer's their offensive line coach. I mean, they're stout. There's Callahan. Aaron Cromer's right up there. Their offensive line, they've played every snap together. We're great friends with Deion Dawkins. The guy on the other side, Spencer Brown, is playing as well as anybody in the league. Like, they got bigger inside. I like a big center. I like a 330-pound center. They put Connor McGovern at center. They picked up a left guard from the Rams. Their offensive line's playing great. They can run it. They can throw it. They doubled Dalton Kincaid in the end zone last week the way they should. Josh Allen got out of the pocket. Kincaid uncovered, and Josh Allen got the ball to him. Like, Josh Allen's the MVP of the league right now. But, it's 3 games. I got it. He's taking care of the ball. But he is in sync. Because remember, Joe Brady took over halfway through the season last year. So it was an adjustment. They went run heavy. But they're bounced up now. And now they've had a whole offseason together. And you could tell the quarterback and the coordinator are in lockstep with each other. And then, we have great respect for Sean McDermott. Like, a lot of different faces on that defense right now. But they're not letting the ball go over their heads. And they get to the ball. They keep everything in front of them. They rally hard. Von Miller is back. Gregory Rousseau is a Pro Bowl player right now. They're good. They're really, really good defensively.
Yeah, I love watching him play. And Sunday night, my God, Baldy, that's a great game, man. At Baltimore, they needed to win last week and the whole thing, man. I cannot wait. And by the way, do want to thank our diehards.
Love the diehards.
Coming in, right? They love Baldy. They love all the stuff. So we want to
our watch parties.
Yeah,
they're killer.
Man, thank you so much to our great diehards.
One thing just to watch on Sunday night, real quick, cuz Justin Tucker's been the best kicker in football for almost a decade. Like something's not right now. Like right now, he's missed 6 field goals in 3 games. Now, 5 of the misses are from 50 yards or more, but he still missed one from inside 50. He's missed 6 field goals. And I mean, this is a guy that was just absolute money. So I'm going to go back and take a look at all his misses and see what's going on. Talk to his kicker coach this week. But anyway, it's just something to kind of put
it's
back.
interesting.
Yeah.
Who are if I had to give you the 5, like your power rankings, right? So obviously Kansas City, Buffalo would be 1, 2, I guess, right? Who's your, and then what, Minnesota's at 3? Like who would your 4 and 5 be? So it's such a weird league so far.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the way the Eagles played last week, you'd have to put them in the top 5. I mean, yes, the turnovers are there, and the injuries, but you have to put the Eagles right up there. And look, I think that, Seattle's undefeated. I'm a little, and Mike McDonald's doing a great job. So if you're undefeated, you're undefeated. It's kind of hard to leave you out right now. So I would say that those are the teams right now you have to really concentrate on.
Wow. Well, you got the Eagles top 5. That's interesting. Huh.
They went to New Orleans and they won that game. You keep that offense at 12 points. Like it's saying a lot right there.
I'll be honest with you, I didn't like New Orleans' game plan. You kept trying to establish Kamara off the edge, and you saw it.
I would have went
down the field more. Yeah.
But he led the league in, total yards. He just ran right through Dallas for 4 touchdowns the week before. The Eagles took away Rashid Shaheed. I mean, he's their deep threat. Alavi got a couple, but, they did a great job against Shaheed trying to get the deep ball. They lost their center in the second series. 2 positions got weakened. As soon as Lucas Patrick went to center, the backup comes in at left guard. So I'm not making excuses, but you hold that team in that dome to 12 points. That's impressive.
Yeah. No, all right, what do you got on tap this weekend?
I'm heading up to see the Aaron Rodgers show up in New York, the Jets in Denver, and probably sneak in the building tonight to do some pregame stuff there in Dallas and the New York Giants. So, anytime you get a chance to play 2, cuz you play 2. Ernie Banks.
You play 2, baby. Baldy plays 2.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think he's going to do?
Of course he's going to do that.
Yeah.
That's why you're the greatest. We love you, buddy. All right.
Miss you.
All right. Safe travels. I'll talk to you over the weekend.
Bud.
All right.
See you, man.
Baldy. All right. Checking in. Boys, I can't believe it's 11 o'clock.
Time flies, cuz.
I know.
Time flies.
Good guess today, by the way.
Nikki said to JP, well, I got it. I respect JP a ton. And the fact that he's got Napoli jerseys, awesome. But you can't go goalie jersey. I was the varsity goalie as a sophomore in high school, and I always felt like a tool when they told us to wear our team jersey to school on Friday. Is there an anti-goalie thing working around?
No, I don't know. Maybe like the older generation possibly, but like this new generation just love it. The soccer jersey obviously become very popular with the millennials and the Gen Z.
The goalie, you're talking about the goalie.
Goalies, yeah, more so goalies. And the one that I really want is Andre Blake. I mean, he's probably the best Union player of all time. And for a while, Union players or the Union weren't selling the goalie jersey, so I want one now.
Okay, so the goalie jersey.
That's the goal. Getting the Andre.
And he falls to the goalie jersey?
It's wintertime.
It's not for me.
Right.
Yeah, it's not for me. I like the team colors because they're never the team colors, really, are they?
Never.
No.
Yeah,
that's what's weird about them. I think that's what Nikki's saying.
They have to stand out. That's why. You got to be able to see the keeper.
It's always like a neon color, too, I feel.
Yeah, very
orange,
neonish.
yellow.
Yeah, like, bright neon pink.
Neon pink.
Hey, before we roll, Edith was in the chat.
Edith!
She said, "Good morning, Anthony. I'm so happy to get to see you today. I miss you. The Eagles are going to be fine if they will use Saquon. Get points always. A Game 4 winner in Tampa Bay."
See, she knows. Run Saquon, man. Just run the ball.
Run the Saquon.
Listen, I will tell you, Baldy might have dropped something there.
Yeah.
About Lane Johnson.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't hear
He
nothing.
knows something.
I didn't hear nothing.
Right?
I didn't hear nothing.
Just say this.
Just a feel.
Lane, when Baldy talks about Lane,
Yeah.
there's a no there. There's a KNOW there. All right? So that makes me feel good about Lane.
Top 5 as well.
Yeah, I don't see that. Baldy sometimes.
Are we overreacting?
No. Baldy sometimes, he's in the now. He's a preposition man. Now, this, these, right?
That.
Yes, he's a preposition guy. I think he overrates the preposition a little bit.
Can we give a quick yo real quick?
We got, yes, and we need to do a back in the day Rite Aid moment.
That's right. Oh, maybe this might be along those lines, but I want a quick yo to Derrick Rose. He just announced his retirement. And
D Rose, wow, I know.
The generation after me, I feel like
they love D Rose.
Well, my generation, I feel like it was AI to what the generation after me is to D Rose. Like they just look at him in awe because he was amazing when he was.
Yeah, he was a great ball player, but I never got it's a shame because injuries killed him.
I know,
but I never was like jaw dropping over D Rose. I thought everybody loved D. They went overboard with D Rose.
You know, like his like.
I was a good ball player.
Yeah, he's nice.
He was all right. That's you know what it is for. I guess that's a generation thing because the more players you see, the more the pool is bigger, right?
Yeah.
So the fewer guys stand out.
By the way, we were an integral part of his demise.
Well,
getting injured in Philly,
yes,
or against Philly.
That was the Bulls. The Sixers beat the Bulls.
2011.
No Joakim Noah and no D Rose.
Iguodala gets on the board.
Let's go.
Yeah. He leaped up on the table. That was incredible. By the way, I got a question for you. I grabbed a pen.
The cousisms.
Why would you make a lime green pen?
It would be cute.
I mean, if you're like a high school and you're keeping a little journal.
No,
like
but
I don't know why someone in this,
you would
this
have a highlighter.
Why would someone in this organization
like
bring a green pen here?
See the lime green. Like you can't see
That's
that.
horrible.
You can't see it. Like what? Like I get as a highlighter.
Who brought that in here?
I don't know.
I want to know who's bringing the lime green pen around town.
I can't even like. Why would you write with lime green?
You gotta
I get like a different color. You want to make the red pen.
I got notes. I want to make eagle notes. Maybe I'll do it in green.
Yeah.
But
I do love VG
not
setup.
the lime green. It's not even Kelly green. Kelly green is more acceptable than a lime green. It's a bad yellow.
Yeah.
And the yellow only works as a highlighter, not as it by itself.
You got to be careful out there because there's pink ink as well.
Yeah, there is pink.
And that's even worse to see.
All
it's
right.
probably easier to see. You don't think?
I'm not anti-pink ink.
Fraser, remember those
I'm
pens that
anti-lime green ink.
do you remember those pens that had like 10 colors in one?
Yes.
I got them in my bag. I got 4.
But those
Four,
are acceptable
four.
colors. You got blue, black, red.
Like orange is unnecessary.
That's the only time I would see a color like
Who
that.
cares about orange?
Purple.
Let's go Flyers.
No, but not as an
Kind of
ink,
get it.
as a pen.
I get you.
All right, what's our Rite Aid?
Oh, back in the day.
Yeah.
Let me see how good your memory is. Last time the Phillies clinched the division. You remember this play at all? You remember who was on the mound? All right, play it.
Let me see.
Again, the 0-2 pitch. Ground ball back toward the middle.
Oh,
Utley's
wow.
got it. Bare hands throws to first, and the Philadelphia Phillies have won their 5th straight.
Bare hand by
National East
Chase.
crown.
Dude, that's
Penn
awesome. That is great.
Great memory.
Back in the day moment brought to us by Rite Aid. All your favorite goods at Rite Aid. All right, boys, that's going to do it. Football Friday. Tomorrow,
Cocktails.
Tampa. What's your cocktail of choice?
I was surprised.
Like, what's a Tampa? I was trying to think about this. Plus, I was trying to think about the food motif. The only thing I can come up with is Hooters. Isn't that a Tampa thing?
I used to cook at Hooters.
Rum runner.
Florida. Yeah, Florida. Yeah.
Oh, the rum runner.
A rum runner would be a great Tampa drink.
That's
Like,
good.
I'm looking
That's a
at
good
anything
call
with a
by you.
pirate. They're saying like daiquiris, rum.
Yeah, man.
cocktail.
The only thing I think,
Bring in
just
the
a cubic
blender.
food. That's all I think
I
about.
like the rum. Go with the rum.
I got you
The
guys.
blender.
Cool.
How do you say
Something
banana daiquiri? Banana daiquiri. Pulp Fiction.
Pirates punch.
We'll whack something up, cuz. Don't worry.
All right.
We
All
got
right.
some
Maybe
Hooter
get
girls bringing food up.
Maybe
Is that
get
what you
Hooters.
said?
I don't know. I'll
I used to
try.
love their
Get some
wings.
wings, yeah.
Their wings were good.
They are good wings.
Do you remember there was a Hooters on a boat on the river?
Yes.
I used to cook on it until the boat started sinking. Then
Are
they-
you
they,
serious?
They closed the boat. They closed at Hooters because the boat was sinking.
Oh, wow.
Were you sinking with the ship?
Nah, I got out pretty early. I cooked for a few months. That was enough.
I could see you as a short order cook.
You know what? Let me give it a shot.
So you made the wings and then the fries? And
I did the fryers. I would cook. I'd do the grill, whatever, short order cook. Throw up the grouper sandwiches.
Oh,
or
yeah.
something.
The chicken
It's
breast.
disappointing. There was optional tip pooling. There was like 2 women who would throw their tips in for the kitchen staff. So we get our tip pool. You open up your envelope, there's like $3 in it.
Oh, that's a violation.
Right? That's
Meanwhile,
for like
they're
a week.
baking.
That's for like a week.
Meanwhile, the Hooters are making 500
we're
over the
not
girls.
sweating. We're all dirty looking back there.
Nah, that's a violation.
Got to take care of the kitchen
Take
staff.
care
It's
of
so
the kitchen
important.
staff.
You think they're coming
It's
for the
like
food?
the DJ for the strip girls. Like,
Yes.
I mean,
I'll
not
tell you, we
enough.
knew like the 3 ladies who were
Strippers.
throwing in.
Right.
Their food was ready quick.
Yes.
Everyone else, you know,
Right.
yeah.
Come on,
Have
man.
a seat, lady.
I'll take care
I
of
always
them.
care
These
about the
wings are
wings
gonna
if
be a
I'm going
bit-
there.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm with you. All right. Let's go do for us. Frazier. Fantastic job. Little Joey Marone, our intern.
Yeah, Joey. Yeah.
Joey, the great skateboarder. He's a legend, skateboard legend. All right. Everybody, thanks for hanging. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day. We love you.
We all silly like the mayor.